Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear champion. Happy birthday to you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I don't have candles. I don't have a cake, but I wanted to, on the air, serenade, obviously, our reigning, defending, Resurrection Pro Wrestling internet champion, our energy of this great sport we love. Arguably the man that has the most energy of anybody around. Obviously the man that is always forever burning like a flame. And he's going to talk about a lot of places where he's been burning, almost burning like the midnight oil here and some, and plus talk about all things related to a couple of our favorite places, and especially one we saw him this past weekend in Resurrection Pro Wrestling, their most latest show, St. Patrick's Day, Fate or Fortune. Then, sort of unexpectedly, the prior weekend in the state of Alabama for the Alliance Wrestling League. Dangelo LeFlame is going to tell us about it all and some. Plus, maybe he'll talk about his future in this great sport. Maybe he'll talk about what a few people recently have had to say about him. Oh, I don't know, like maybe Saturday's guest and Drake Golddragon, the national champion. Oh, I don't know, maybe Hillbilly Tilly, who was inducted into the Hall of Fame a few weeks ago, the man that signed D'Angelo LaFlame to be in that Rumble at Gold Rush. And maybe even I'll have a few other announcements, including another person to join the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame tomorrow night, who's actually shared a locker room with Dangelo LaFlame. I could go on and on and on about our guest tonight, other than the fact that it's his birthday. He has long been one of our favorites over the past 4 or 5 months here on Sportswire Radio. He's arguably maybe got the tallest reach. He's got maybe the best kicks in this business. And literally, I don't know how he does it and still stays on his feet, and especially ask Neff those same questions. But as I said, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to give him that introduction that he absolutely deserves. So let's get right to it, because everybody's waiting for it. All of his fans, all of his followers, maybe even foe, maybe friend, everybody else in between. Let's get right to it and wish the champion hello and give him that introduction that he absolutely deserves. So with that, without further ado, on the Sports Report, the number one for the road sports show, the reigning, defending Resurrection Pro Wrestling Internet Champion, the one and only man that always burns like a flame, the energy of this sport that we love called wrestling. His name, again, is Dangelo LaFlame. The champ is here. Happy birthday, my friend.
Thank you, Tom. Honestly, I love every intro.
Well, I haven't done this in a while for you. It's been a while since you've
I
actually
know.
come on. You've been in so many of the shows in terms of the comments, but this is actually the first time you've been here in a while. And I thought it was pretty cool to have you on your birthday. A lot to talk about. A lot of people want to say hello. I also actually want to present to you not one, but two gifts on the behalf of Sportswire Radio. So I'm excited to do that here. Maybe we'll give you the first gift in a few minutes, but I want to ask you, especially for those that are listening and watching, everybody here is tuned in. We've got 41 people watching between YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. So I want to thank everybody for the big momentum that Sportswire Radio has received over the past few months. But what did you do on your birthday before tonight?
I legit just, I kid you not, I just got back from going out to eat. Had me a little sombrero. Uh, really,
What'd you have for your
honestly,
birthday
I
then?
just
So
been on the
what was the
road.
meal? What was the meal of choice?
I got street tacos. Chorizo street tacos. Something simple but nice and spicy.
Okay, well, I will tell you, I did have a Subway churro maybe about 2 months ago, and I wasn't the biggest fan of the Subway churro, but that has nothing to do with street tacos. But I'm glad that you enjoyed it, and I'm glad that we get to have you here on your birthday. I've got a bunch of announcements tonight. I've got a number of people coming on. We've got a lot to talk about here, but I could go one way and talk about Resurrection Pro Wrestling's most recent show on St. Patrick's Day, Fate or Fortune. I'm going to
Mhm.
certainly get to that here in a few minutes. I've even got some people that have recently come on the platform who are already here in the chat. I've even got somebody that's coming on here. I'm going to make a big announcement for that's actually going to be here right after night 2 WrestleMania. A man who hasn't been here, but for about 8 months has been trying to get on this platform. And he's a man you share a locker room with. But I have to ask you, though, for those that are listening and watching on Sportswire Radio, where all wrestling matters, D'Angelo LeFlame, I was watching this company and their most recent show called Gold Rush from the Alliance Wrestling League over there in the state of Alabama. Now, this is a company, D'Angelo, I know pretty well. It's a company I've actually been covering pretty much since its inception. Two of their members in the front office, one talent, is actually in our Hall of Fame. One you actually eliminated in ADT, who's supposed to be the man that we should rename Backyard Wrestling to. And the other person, who's probably the person that signed you to appear at Gold Rush, Hillbilly Tilly, the man has always been the true voice of Backyard Wrestling, has always said those who do it here in this sport of wrestling, they don't do it for the money, they do it for the love of it. He has definitely been an example of that. But I mean, all of a sudden I'm watching this Rumble, and then I see some guy who looks like you, and I'm like, wait a minute. D'Angelo LaFlame? What is he doing there? He doesn't work
Oh,
there for the Alliance Wrestling League and Gold Rush. And you come out there in the Rumble and you're in the second half of it. So tell us what happened. Tell us how it all unfolded and what did it mean to you to be a part of the Alliance Wrestling League's first ever live indoor show, Gold Rush. And you made a really big impression, nevertheless.
if you want me to be all serious, Tom, all seriousness,
It's Sportswire
it
Radio, D'Angelo. You
it
know the
it,
drill.
it was a honor because honestly, they didn't have to invite me. There's so many
Absolutely
other
not.
people that's in this community that
We'll
clearly
talk.
don't
We
care.
heard names. Listen, we heard names that were in Tennessee that was supposed to go there. We heard about other names that maybe you shared a locker room with, but we didn't hear you. And when we hear you, it was like I legitimately jumped out of my chair and I'm like, wait a minute, I know that guy. He works in the state of Tennessee.
Because okay, I don't want to go in full detail, but of course when I
Yeah,
got the
Sportswire,
when I got
because you
the
know there's a lot of people watching right now. The
right.
world is watching you.
So when I got the invite, at first I ain't gonna lie, I thought it was for the wrong person, but then again, I'm like, who else could they be possibly sending it to? Then when I finally,
They weren't
worked
sending
out
it to
things,
Neff, I think. I don't think Neff was getting that
oh
invite.
no, they did. They made the right choice. They got
Yeah.
the real dreadhead around here. But like I said, it truly was an honor. They clearly accepted me with open arms, and some of them even looked up to me. And I just told them like, offer, please don't see me as like somebody higher. I'm just like y'all. At the end of the day, I only been doing it for
Really?
two
So
years.
you had people in that locker room without naming names that looked up to you? Is it because
Only
Le-
because I had like more ring experience. Because most of them surprised and look, all serious, surprisingly, half of them never been in a ring for real.
well, that was talked about in the telecast. I mean, if you were listening
Yeah.
to the call of Gold Rush, that was where I would say between everybody that was in the Rumble and the talents that wrestled on the show, I would dare to say that only a handful of the roster had been in a ring before. Maybe Colbot maybe had been in a ring before. Maybe Christopher James had been in a pro ring before. Maybe AJ Morgan because he's training. I mean, and you obviously were the guy that stood out because you've been on some really big shows in Resurrection. I mean, you've shared a locker room with Jimmy Controversy. You've shared a locker room with Mac 10. You've shared a locker room with some big names. So you're the guy that's coming in a lot of ways. I mean, you're kind of the biggest person that was on that bill in a lot of ways.
And yes, it did feel like that, but of course, I didn't want to come off as I'm that guy around here because at the end of the day, like I said, I just see myself as just wanted everybody else. I'm just a guy who come out here, put on a show. Fans love it. Sometimes they don't, and I just I do my
Oh,
thing.
they loved you right away. I mean, they were chanting your name, and you go,
Yes,
"Let's go,
let
let's
me
go,
tell
let's
let
go!"
me tell you,
Energy.
Tom. That you know how other wrestlers get interviewed and the interview always asks that question like, what made you just say this is what I want to do? I swear to on everything. That was my moment. Cause
No,
clearly I've
that
been
moment
to
was loud. Let me tell you something. That place, there was legitimately like an OMG moment. That was a
yes,
OMFG. Let's G. You fill in the blanks. That was the let's effing go because that was,
yes.
we haven't seen something like this in really in the underground, the indies, the yard, whatever you want to call it at this point. You call it anything you want. I mean, we've seen guys like Jack Delta wrestle in XCW and TBW and PWF. We've seen guys that have traveled, Aaron Blaze, Anthony Steele. I mean, you can go up and down the list of people, but it was kind of like you knew beforehand. You were totally like one of these moments. I have to say, I've been covering wrestling in any form around the world for 4 years. This might have been the holy fill in the blanks moment that we haven't seen in at least my 4 years in covering things.
Yeah, cause you know, clearly, I've been on TBW plenty of times. So of course their
Yes,
fan
you've
base
been
know
on it.
them. So
And
of
again,
course
yep, you've
I
been
would
there.
expect, I would expect, TBW fans to cheer for me, but I ain't never been on AWL. So just to go out there and they screamed for me like
And
that,
that
that
was
was
a
like
live crowd
that.
too. That wasn't
Yes,
a crowd. Okay, let's do take 10. No, okay, let's we're only around with family and friends and the town and the locker room. No, you were in front of a live crowd that had upwards to 100 people. That was loud.
yes,
That was a loud. I'm going to be honest with you, D'Angelo, and I love the guys in the Alliance Wrestling League. I love what they're doing. And this is why I want to give them their props tonight. Obviously, we work with them. And that's why I was so happy to see you there. And we're always about All Wrestling Matters on Sportswire, is that I truly think that there were more people there when we saw Gold Rush 2 weeks ago now than maybe some even independent companies that I've covered, whether it's in the UK or elsewhere. And that showed you that crowd was hungry for you. They wanted you there, and they
yes. It
responded.
showed me that clearly I am doing something right. That I can go to a whole nother state, never been on none of their shows, none of their product,
Nobody knew
and they
this
just
was. There was no advertisement here. There was no talk
exactly.
on sports. We've talked with different names. Yeah, I would love to go there. Yeah, I would love to go to that place. And people go, okay, let's message them. There was never a talk really about you in the Alliance Wrestling League. Hey, D'Angelo LeFlame is going to be a Gold Rush. There was never. I mean, you've talked about, hey, I would love to travel in different places, but there was never anything specifically that said, or your name was specifically mentioned on their program's TV. This was really a holy fill in the blanks moment. This is the equivalent of, I think, maybe Taz when he was in WWF and he showed up against Mike Awesome to compete for the ECW world title. I would also add it was almost like the ECW guys showing up to the WWF back in the day. I would add this was the equivalent of like Rick Rude when he showed up actually on the same night, technically on Nitro and Raw. This was really, like I said, my 4 years of covering this on Sportswire Radio of all forms of wrestling. This was the OMG moment.
Right, because um after of course after the video dropped and it got released and all that, a lot of people were messaging me behind the scenes like good good stuff, you did good, like that was surprising, that was shocking, and
And you were impressive in that Rumble. Did you get the most Rumble eliminations, if I'm not mistaken? Because you had what? Was
um
it Victor Thorne
I
you
I
eliminated?
Victor
Yep, God.
Thorne, ADT, and Christopher, I can't
James.
remember, yeah, Christopher
James.
James. I would,
And who was the former world champion, by the way. You eliminated
yeah,
two
so I
former
got I
world
got three
champions.
here.
Yeah, you got three guys, right? But get this. You got and a man, Christopher James, that was the world champion not too long ago. He was the world champion in AWL. And you eliminated the man that has basically talked about calling his own shot, being the man of the yard, being the man of everywhere, the man that has basically called out Jack Delta for months, the man that has been in a war with his cousin, CJ Black, the good guy, the ROEW champion, the man that has pretty much called his own shot right now, kind of the Brock Lesnar, quote unquote, yes, you can say his name again, of the yard and the underground. That's ADT. I mean, that speaks volumes. And Victor Thorne, oh, by the way, maybe the biggest man that was in the Rumble. I mean, I don't think you could have had as impressive a performance in that Rumble than anybody could have ever imagined.
Yeah, because after I did my thing, hyped the crowd up, I had to go lock in. It was go mode. Soon I seen the opportunity, boom, got one out. And saw the next opportunity, got ADT out. Then Victor,
Oh, ADT, I think nobody has really done what anybody's done to ADT so far, but you literally you gave him the boot. You gave him the boot out of that Rumble. I've been covering ADT a while, since he literally restarted here in AW. I have seen nobody do what ADD did what you did to him. I have seen nobody do what you did to ADT. Not by a long shot.
because all of them are wonderful talents. All of them have that.
Oh, they're all great AWL. Love
Yes,
AWL.
all
Love
of them are
everything about them.
good. Like I said, even though majority of them that was their first time, they didn't show it. It looked like they've been in the ring basically they whole careers. So like that just shows how good it is. They just needed that opportunity to show what they could do. They
Oh, and
did
they
it,
definitely did that. And I
and they
think if you
showed
haven't had
out.
a chance, go to the Alliance Wrestling League's YouTube channel, especially to watch Gold Rush, because nearly
Yes,
700
y'all go
people have done that. Yeah.
sub to
You
them
need to
boys. Them
go
boys are
sub to the
nice.
LWL. Yep, you better believe it. And, I'm curious real quick. I know a lot of people want to say hello. There's a lot of people that want to wish happy birthday. A lot of friends of the show. A lot of people that are coming up here soon to Sportswire Radio. But, I mean, I know this is kind of sound maybe, I don't know if I'm going to put it in the right way, but you shared a locker room with the legendary, I'm going to say it at this point, legendary Jimmy Controversy at this point, a man that has traveled, and he wrestled Tommy Dreamer. Did you ask him by any chance any advice at all when you were in the locker rooms with him, or anything about your journey going to Alabama, or you talk with him in any way, maybe to prepare you for that moment and what you did at
Uh,
Gold Rush? Anything?
Honestly, of course, Jimmy is such a big name, so of course I'm not the only one who want to speak to him. So you had Dustin speaking to him, you had
Yeah,
Adrian
but
and
you're different
Trey.
right now.
So
But you're the guy now that's traveled. You're the guy now. It's opened the floodgates here at Resurrection. What you did, all of a
yes,
sudden you called your own shot, you bet on yourself, and you won. I mean, this is a big deal. What you did. Not even 2 weeks ago. I mean, this could very well change the directory of your career. I mean,
yeah,
I'm not gonna, I'm not
and
kidding you.
that's the mission. That's the mission. I want to go to different promotions and
I
show
got
them like, hey,
88
we can
people
all.
watching on YouTube, between YouTube and Twitter. I got 88 people watching this. And this
Yeah.
shows that this was a game-changing moment. Like I said, I know we're going to go on to Resurrection. I know people want to talk to you, but I really
Mhm.
want to emphasize the fact, ladies and gentlemen, for those that are listening and watching on Sportswire Radio, where all wrestling matters here, is your voice of all wrestling, the Reverend Tom Bryce. This really was the OMG moment. This was unannounced. Nobody knew anything about it. This was literally all of a sudden you showed up for a company you don't even work with. And on top of that, you're a champion. You weren't just some, let's say, Johnny come lately, just some guy that maybe worked a couple of matches. You were one of the top talents in Resurrection Wrestling, where Jimmy freaking Controversy calls home to. And you just showed up there. This is literally going to be on par for us here in the yard and in the underground for what Rick Rude did, going to Raw and Nitro on the same night, for what Taz did, showing up as a WWF talent to wrestle the ECW champion Mike Awesome. When we saw all the guys from ECW in 1996 at Mind Games show up. I mean, this is going to be on that par. This is a part of history, and you made it.
And I look, like I said, I'm just honored too, because at the end of the day, I sit here and I stand by. Like we all have the same passion. It's wrestling. So let's not work together. Let's make it happen. I don't. That's what
Amen
like.
to that.
I don't understand why the backyard community. Well, wrestling in general is just toxic, but let's just keep it backyard. I don't understand why is it so toxic in the backyard community. We all have the same goal at the end of the day. We want to wrestle, we want to do what we love, but nobody can work together. So I'm gonna make it my mission. Look, even though let's say, and no disrespect, but like clearly it's a lot of promotions or just wrestlers that don't like us personally. They might not have no problem with me, but they don't like the company I'm with. Okay, that's cool. You don't have to like the company, but I'm gonna go to your company, show you, hey, we cool people over here. Because at the end of the day, my passion is the wrestling. I don't care about this politic crap back behind the scenes. I
I'm
don't
so
care.
happy you said that because I am so happy that you said that because that's all we've tried to preach here on Sportswire is I don't care about who this owner likes and this person doesn't like. We just want to talk about all wrestling that matters. And yes, there are some promoters in different promotions that, do certain things, but you know what? I don't care because what we want to see as fans is we want to see the dreams come true of people
Right,
to go out there and be able to fulfill their dreams and opportunities. And you did that. And I think it's going to certainly spark a revolution. That's why you are the energy of this sport. But I have a lot of people that want to say hello to you. I got 92 people watching us right now. So let me try to get to everybody here. So, man, hang on tight, D'Angelo. Let me first of all say hello to one of my buddies, Cameron Cage, who wants to wish you a happy birthday. And
thank you,
Cameron, I
Mr.
got to
Cam.
certainly get you back on Sports Wide Radio. And if you are watching us right now and you are one of the 92 people, first of all, if you're on Twitter, especially where I got 81 people watching us, hit that sub button for me on YouTube.
Right,
It's
y'all
Sportswire Radio
so
6579. Hit
something,
that sub button.
something, Cameron Cage.
Resurrection Pro Wrestling. Hit that sub button on them for YouTube. Also, Instagram, check out Resurrection Wrestling. And support all the great other companies here. But especially hit that sub for me on YouTube at Sportswire Radio 6579. Also, hit that sub button for Resurrection Pro Wrestling. Resurrection Wrestling's YouTube channel. It's at Resurrection Wrestling. Go support them. Go support every single person that's here tonight commenting, saying hello, because it is about all wrestling that matters. I want to say hello to one of my buddies who owns one of my Sportsfire radio shirts, Mr. Michael Christian. Michael, how are you today? I want to say hello also to some of my very good buddies out there, a company maybe you should keep on your horizons out there in the state of Massachusetts. They are NEW. They are NEW Wrestling, and you can check them out, support them on YouTube. They have got Riot in the Ring coming up here. That's going to be in June. You better go there and follow them. It's going to take place in the first weekend of June. So go out there and make sure you support them. And they wish you a happy birthday. And I've got one of their top talents coming on your chair next Thursday night in
Okay.
Power Surge. This man, Power Surge, let me tell you something. He literally could lift like a whole state on his own. I mean, this guy, I saw him do earlier today, he was doing like reps. It was like on like an incline weight bench, and he was going like it was like 500 pounds. He was like boom, boom, boom. He
Okay.
could probably lift you and I together. That's how big this guy is.
Most definitely.
And I want to say hello again to our friends at NEW. Support them on Instagram. Support them on Facebook, Twitter. Speaking of champions, that's here. He's promised he would be here. The national champion, Mr. Drake Golddragon. He also
Uh,
called you a hothead, by the way. And
hello,
I
you
gotta make
freaky
I
salamander.
gotta make the announcement here. Speaking of people that are gonna be here right after night 2 of WrestleMania to make his debut on Sportswire Radio, none other than the one and only Xavier Thorne. He's live on Sportswire Radio. Who knows what he's gonna say? I mean, if you thought Anthony Steele had a lot to say, James Taylor when they've been here,
I was
Jackson
about to say
Law,
that. Was about to say that, Tom.
if
That
you
one,
thought those guys
Thor,
had a lot to say,
I promise
you
you, that's
just
gonna be your
waited till.
funniest one. That's probably gonna be your
Well,
most
I think
viewed.
this will be. I mean, we love Anthony and James on the show, but Xavier Thorne is going to say things that who
Mm-hmm.
knows. But we're
That's what
excited
gonna get
because
you
he's
views.
actually asked. He's asked to be here for 8 months, and you know what? Why not? We give everybody a
Right.
shot on Sportswire. Sometimes you're going to like it, sometimes you're not, but that's what we're about. I want to say hello to one of my buddies who's going to be inducted into our Hall of Fame coming up, I believe, on April the 23rd, Mr. Andrew Loveless. He is certainly loveless no more. He is also a DJ in his spare time. Well-known, well-traveled DJ. He travels. He's been to Spain. He's been to France. And he's also a pretty good wrestler. He was one half of the Amplified Wrestling Tag Team Champions. He's going to be back in the ring in a number of different places coming up, especially for Enterprise and Amplified on May the 4th. And he is also here, and it says happy birthday, but happy birthday, but that's okay. We love Andrew. And Andrew's
Hello,
a
Mr.
great
Andrew.
talent. He's had a long career in this business, and he's somebody we all look to for advice. Steven Silvestri, our general manager of Resurrection, is in the house. He says hello. A man we're going to talk about in a little while, who you certainly saw on a ladder not too long ago, the wild beast Adrian Prince, who we have to get on Sportswire one of these days, but you failed to answer the challenge one-on-one for the Internet Championship. So there you go. There you go. Adrian Prince, you'll get the chance from me, soon to be Internet champ. So there you go. There you go. We're seeing maybe something else here. Nothing but talk from Thorne. Well, he's talking here. He's talking here after night 2 of WrestleMania. Also, Rick Rude. Yeah, the Rick Rude was a good announcement here. Actually, here I've got a special announcement of my own here to make, if LeFlame will allow me. Let's do that in about 10 or 15 minutes. So if you agree to it, we'll do that, because I have a couple things I want to give the champion. Actually, 2 things to be fair. Okay, good enough. Steven, don't start with me or you'll pay too much. Ooh. By the way, I want to say a little, one of my very, very dear favorites here, a man that sometimes does play-by-play with me on Sportswire Radio, the one and only nemesis, James Taylor, of course, in our Hall of Fame 2023 Personality of the Year. I am doing great, James Taylor. We got 95 people watching us right now, 84 on Twitter,
Hello,
and
Mr.
11 on YouTube,
Mr.
so I'm very excited.
James.
One of my announcements is a huge gift for LeFlame. Yes, couldn't agree with you more. Politics kill this passion, and they kill this sport, and it's terrible.
And then
that
it'd be the
we
most
kill each
pettiest
other.
things, to be honest.
We kill each other for no reason. We're all the same reason. We're not getting rich off this. We're not making money. We should all be teammates. And it's terrible, terrible stuff. Want to say hello to my buddy, Mr. Dirty, of course, of the IMF, the foundation. He's going into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame 2 weeks from tomorrow. And hopefully, you never know, I might ask about that. The man that's going to be here on to the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame tomorrow night after the premiere of Season 8 of Tennessee Backyard Wrestling, acknowledge our hardcore champion, the only Grand Slam champion in Tennessee Backyard Wrestling history, as I like to call him, Hollywood Titan. I've actually got something I'm going to present to the screen in a few minutes to kind of show what we're going to see coming up from Mr. Titan and myself tomorrow night. Atomic Titan, embrace the standout. No, you should respect your hardcore king. Maybe we can work something out. Thorne's going to try to challenge me. Who knows? Xavier Thorne in a microphone? Who the heck knows? Want to say hello to one of my buddies, Mr. Baltimore Kid, host of the Be More Talkative podcast. And Sportswire is definitely on fire right now. We are definitely on a roll right now. But, D'Angelo, I know it's your birthday, and a lot of people want to talk to you. A lot of talk things about Resurrection Wrestling. We've got some other places maybe to ask you on. But would it be okay for the first of 2 things, for those that are listening and watching on Sportswire Radio, where all wrestling matters, that I could present to you to kind of acknowledge all the great things that you've done in this sport, but also because, well, it's your birthday, and on your birthday, you should receive some gifts. So could I present to you the first of 2 things tonight?
Of course.
I appreciate that you would let me do that. Some people may always say no. I don't know why. But for those that are listening and watching on Sportswire Radio, we first of all want to recognize you, Dangelo LeFlame, and that you are the energy of Sportswire Radio for all that you do in this sport, all that you've done here for us over the past several months. And I am so honored to be able to do that here for the first of 2 things we're giving you. Congratulations, D'Angelo. I thought it couldn't be more of a poetic way to honor you on your birthday for all the energy, all the chance that you bring us when it comes to Resurrection, TBW, whether it's been certainly AWL now. And congratulations. And I hope that you would take this token of a sign of appreciation.
I deeply appreciate it, Tom, honestly, because you didn't have to, but thank you. I'm happy.
I definitely had to
appreciate me and everything I do, because look, like I said, I just go out there, do what I love, and I'm trying to change the whole scene of the backyard scene. So.
Well, let me ask you that question. I mean, do you feel that in a way? I don't want to compare you to a Jack Delta, Aaron Blaze, Anthony Steele, who's traveled before, Jackson Law, before he used to travel. Titan has traveled in the past. Do you feel that you're the next guy up? Do you feel that you're the guy that wants to go out there and, how can I put this? Maybe have your own flame that burns and kind of, your own path in the yard for others? I mean, do you feel you're the next guy up?
Most definitely, because of course, even though you ain't trying to compare me, other people gonna make that comparison.
Oh, now
But
especially after you went to Alabama,
yeah,
I mean, people are naturally going to say you're another Delta, you're another Blaze, you're another
yeah,
Titan when he traveled, JX when he traveled, Jackson Law when he used to travel. I mean, Aaron Blaze. I mean,
because
you're going to naturally get those comparisons. Anthony when he
like
traveled,
me personally, I can't
Owen and
speak for the
Soldier, by
rest
the way,
of them.
before they left the yard, more or less. Those names also would
Yeah.
throw in there.
Cause like I can't speak for everybody else. I can't speak for Delta. I
Sure.
can't speak for Blaze. But like my whole reason for doing this is because I want to bring every promotion together. Of course, if I go all the way to Cali, I don't expect you to come to Memphis like constantly. You know how some people do weekends. I don't expect it. But at the end, of the, I just want people to be like, okay, if we go here, it's somewhere that's gonna accept us with open arms. If I go to some, I just like I said, my whole mission for even doing this is just to bring everybody together. Cause it's just, and this is just for some, just for my personal life too. It's not even a wrestling thing. It's so much hatred in the world for real, and I hate it.
Oh my God!
And I
There's
go
so
out there
many. It's
and I
horrible
try
right
to
now.
help everybody I can. And so now I'm doing something that I love, aka wrestling. Now I want to go out there, show other wrestlers. It's all right, bro. You can go somewhere else. You can come travel here. Like I told AWL, y'all have a home over here. We gonna treat you right. Y'all accepted me with open arms. It's only right if I tell y'all can come over here and we'll accept you with open arms. And I want that for any promotion. Let's say like IMF. If I go take my butt over there to IMF, I want them to know. Thank you for accepting me. So it's only right if y'all come over here with us. Cause at the end of the day, we just want to get better. We just want to do
Oh,
something that we
listen,
love, get
and
different
I'm so glad you
exposure.
said that. Listen, I'm so glad you said that because whether it's you in the miles that you put in to go to these places, certainly Omen, Soldier, Dirty, that they've put in the miles to go out there and travel. Whether it's Anthony in the past who's gone out there and traveled, certainly Jack Delta, JX who's done it, Jackson when he used to travel, Aaron Blaze. These are the guys, yourself now included, that have put this sport on their backs to be able to help the companies that they've represented or wrestled in. And I think that speaks volumes to your characters. And I think Hillbilly Tilly, the man that signed you to the Alliance Wrestling League, I will continue to say it till the cows come home. He literally hit the nail on the head. Those that do it here in the backyard do it because for the love of this sport. That's it. Nobody's getting rich off this. You guys,
Right.
whether it's Omen, Soldier, Dirty, you, Anthony, Jackson, Jack, Aaron Blaze, anybody else, Nicholas Crenton, Sean Jovi, who've gone out there and traveled. I mean, anybody you can think of, you guys have all done it for the right reason. So we got to stop with this politics stuff. We got to stop killing each other for nothing, absolutely nothing. The one guy in XCW, the owner of that company, bashes the Sportswire Hall of Fame and then goes on and bashes TBW on his own show. What good does that do? I mean, you can go up and down the list of people that did for no reasons. One guy earlier this week on Facebook was killing DBW. And he sounded senseless on it. Senseless. Enough with this stuff. At the end of the day, everybody's here for a reason. For the love of wrestling. Nobody's
Right.
here doing this to become a millionaire with all the stuff going on here with politics, economy, everything else going on. Let's get back to the basics and let's see the best wrestle the best here on
Right. Because at
Sportswire
the end
Radio.
of the day, it just it to me it backfires because now people look at you as problematic. Why are you don't like I don't know I'm allowed to say this, but a situation happened after our last show. But instead of sitting there causing all this, I sat there and just be like, okay, what happened? Try to get to the bottom of it. We got the problem out the way, and we moved on. Because at the end of the day, it's no point of just because one person might have did something wrong. Why should we, say forget that whole promotion? Just that one person. Just don't invite that one person back. So
There's plenty of good people in every promotion. There's
right.
plenty of good people, and nobody should ever be guilt by association. Nobody should ever be of anything. So I could not agree with you any more than that. I have a lot of people that still want to talk to you. So let me try to get to everybody here because a lot of people. I want to get to a great question here. First
I
of
might
all,
get in trouble for that last statement, but I'm just being honest.
you're not going to be in trouble because you're on my platform here on Sportswire Radio, and I will say if you get any trouble, You bring them to me. You give them my phone number. You give them my email address. I'm always accountable. I'm direct. And anybody has any problems with anything I have to say, I always say it. I'm an open door policy. So I will say it, and I am proud to say it. I support all wrestling that matters. I try to give everybody here a platform, and I will not tolerate anybody that tells anybody they can't go anywhere, they can't wrestle for anywhere. I will never tolerate that, just like I don't tolerate it in my own life, and I will not tolerate anybody here that gets treated that way. But before I do anything, and I got actually something special to show you, D'Angelo, I have a great question from James Taylor. Do you have any dream matches with any guys in the backyard? That's a great question.
Of course, of course.
James Taylor, I hope, would be one of them.
Yeah, me and Taylor still got a running back, but Mr. Taylor, I look, you got to be honest. I personally don't have no problem, but you are a polarizing person, so a lot of places either like you or don't like you, and all the promotions I know right now, clearly, it's a no go. But eventually, we will have to go somewhere and get it done.
But you're going to be working on, hopefully you're working in different places that maybe it could
Right.
happen. I mean,
So maybe
you
we
can never
can't
say
do
never.
it. Maybe we can't do it over here, or maybe over there to the other promotion, but maybe it can happen. It just,
You never know. You never
right
know.
now, Mr. Taylor, you in hot water around here with other promotions, unfortunately. So I can't, I ain't finna tell them what they can and can't do. So eventually we will have a match, but I would love to have a match against you. Now, other guys in the backyard scene, of course, the I said it last time, Mr. Jack Delta, because now that one is kind of low key turning personal for me because, of course, he's an established name. I'm an up and comer. I want to prove to him like, hey, I'm here to stay. I'm not just some a random guy that kind of got he got a little popularity behind him, a little buzz. I want to prove like, yo, I'm going against one of the even once again, he's a polarizing person. Some people don't like Jack Delta a lot,
No,
but
and listen, there's a lot of people, it's not just James. There's people that don't like Jack Delta for different
yeah,
reasons. There's people that don't like Jackson Law. There's people that don't like Aaron Blaze. There's people that don't like Sportswire Radio. There's, anywhere you go. But I think that's a good thing. I think that if you're not hated, that you must be doing something wrong. Listen, there's people that don't like Omen and Soldier. There's companies that I work with in the Northeast that didn't like Omen and Soldier. I mean, ultimately
yeah.
for no reason. So at the end of the day, I think it's all hogwash, but I have a lot of people that want to say a few things to you. I want to
Okay.
first of all say hello to them. I want to say hello to my buddy, Mr. Manny Cobra. Happy birthday, Flame. A lot of respect for you. I think you're a better champ than the hardcore Queen Titan. Well, we'll see about that. I want to say hello to Tyler Helton. Tyler, how you doing? I know you've commented here before. I will certainly acknowledge that. We'll see if we can get you on one of these days. And I definitely say, yes, we agree. We definitely appreciate you, LeFlame. Want to say hello to our buddies at the AWL. Love the Alliance Wrestling League. And
The
I
energy is
agree,
in the alliance. Yeah, yeah.
and I agree
Hashtag
with
the
this.
energy is in the alliance.
Absolutely. And I agree with the Titan here. If I got bashed for no reason, then hit me up and we can talk. I always try to bring wrestling together. Obviously, if someone can't show up, don't bash. People have things going on. We all have life outside of this. Haters going to hate. If you don't got haters, there you go. You're doing something wrong. Absolutely. And I want to also say hello to somebody new. Says, hey, I'm finally making it on here live. Wanted to say I love backyard wrestling. I love Sportswire. My favorite is James Taylor. Well, James Taylor, this is one of our favorites also on Sportswire. And also D'Angelo LeFlame is one of our favorites. So BYW fan, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you make sure you hit that sub button for us here on Sportswire Radio. But, I have a surprise for you, D'Angelo. I actually have a surprise. And I have something to give you, but that's not the surprise. I actually have received something from our friends over in the company that you actually work for in Resurrection Wrestling. And I'm going to take this off the screen before I actually present something else here, because I've been given something to you, which I would hope that you might actually want to be able to take a look at here for those that are listening and watching. So if you wanted, on behalf of Resurrection Wrestling, could I present to you something that you might be wanting to have a curiosity on what it is? Would you be okay with that?
Of course. Show me. I love a surprise.
All right. Well, this is not my surprise. I have something else to give you, but
Okay.
this is actually not the thing here. So give me 1 second. All right. So for those that are listening and watching on Sportswire Radio, it's so good that I'm actually going to present it to you. It might come out in twos, but here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This look familiar for you, D'Angelo LeFlame? In fact, it's so good I showed it twice because coming up here, the Saturday Night Riot. More information ahead. And look whose poster's there. That's
I'm the
kind of
poster boy.
familiar.
Yeah, it look real familiar.
Does that recognize anybody? Is that Drake Golddragon? Is that
I don't
I don't know
know.
Rage? Is that I don't know.
That brother right there look kind of familiar. I don't know. I
I
think I
have a
seen him
feeling
on
that it's
somewhere.
actually you. And congratulations, you've actually made the poster. And we can certainly stay tuned for more information to the Resurrection Wrestling social media channels. But yeah, there you have it. So how does that make you feel on your birthday, nonetheless?
Is that man? Look. Now I'm being spoiled. I'm not gonna know how to act now, Tom. I'm like I'm the solo poster boy, birthday boy. Come on, man, internet champion. I'm just that guy right now. But you know, once again, it's just an honor. Honestly, I'm proud because you know who else? Honestly, especially if the show name is Saturday Night Riot. I am the energy. I'm unpredictable. When fans get behind me, I do kind of start a riot, but in a positive sense. We don't out here. We just don't do no damage. But I'm happy. Out of all the amazing people on the roster, of course, I'm happy as me.
I mean, did you think Neff was going to make the poster? I had to throw that in there, but
Oh, cool.
okay. So obviously, let me get to a few more people here. Uh, Titan, you're telling facts. Yeah, there you go. See that? We can get everybody to agree once in a while. That's what it's all about. Let's get everybody on the same page. Also here, yep, I think that Steven was going to tell us the poster, but actually a birdie sent me the poster. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just send the poster to you, and so you can have it. And I'm sure Steven will give you the poster. Titan is the greatest hardcore champion. Yeah, I would say right now, I mean, he is the man, and he's coming on to Sportswire Radio actually very soon. In fact, he's going to be here. In fact, speaking of posters, I actually have a poster right here that I'd like to show for those that are listening and watching on Sportswire Radio. He is going to be here tomorrow. And look at this poster that we've received here. And you're going to see him here, the Hardcore King, the 55th member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. After the conclusion of the debut of Tennessee Backyard Wrestling Season 8, Rampage, episode 157. So keep your clocks tuned in. 10 o'clock Eastern Time, just like tonight, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. The Atomic Titan acknowledge our Hardcore King as he takes his place into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame on all those platforms here. And we are looking forward to it. TBW and Sportswire Radio, a marriage made in heaven. I can't wait. I'm so excited for TBW Season 8 to premiere, and I can't wait to see what the Hardcore King has to say. And I know everybody in the wrestling world, whether it's backyard, underground, independent, everywhere else in between, is going to be with anticipation to see Atomic Titan take his rightful place into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame tomorrow night. 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time here. So let's take this off the screen and come back here with some more comments. As the other announcement is I'll be doing some traveling of my own. I'll be at Committed to Wrestling show April 19th, not too far from now, with a collab show May 4th. Resi Times Committed is happening. Just like Resi and TBW working together, Committed to Wrestling show. Maybe, hopefully we'll see you there.
I got no choice to. I'm gonna make it my mission.
All right, good enough. Thank you, BYW Fan 74. I try my best. Glad that you respect your Hardcore King. Yes, we definitely respect our Hardcore King, and so does James Taylor. And big shout out to Jacoby. Love Jacoby. Jacoby, I
Yes.
gotta say, of the locker room, he was one of my more, I think, enjoyable interviews. Obviously, aside from you, but Jacoby was like, he was the first 5 minutes, and he was boom, 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 boom.
Mm-hmm.
Jacoby was good. We got to get Jacoby back on sports. So I think Jacoby, that's going to be one of my spring resolutions. Spring cleaning is going to be Jacoby coming back to Sportswire. I agree with Titan and James. Life happens, and there shouldn't be any bashing. Where can I get any merch? I want an official Titan turtleneck and James Taylor t-shirt. Does D'Angelo have merch? Yes, he does. He actually does have merch. And
You
you're
ain't said nothing but a word.
I actually have the links here. So Instagram, Resurrection Pro Wrestling. YouTube, TikTok, Resurrection Wrestling. Patreon.
I have it
Now remember,
all.
I subscribe to Resurrection's Patreon channel, Resurrection Pro Wrestling, and that redbubble.com. People, backspace, Resurrection Pro. That's where you can get your D'Angelo LeFlame and Resurrection Wrestling merchandise. And in a little while, I will actually put the link up here for those that are listening and watching. So that's what we do on
It's my
Sportswire Radio.
birthday. Go buy some merch. Go buy some merch. It's my
Absolutely.
birthday.
Listen,
That's
and
my
us-
birthday. Hey, if you
and
want to give
what
me a
do I
gift, there
say
you
all the
go.
time,
Go buy some
D'Angelo?
merch.
All I wear is merchandise like this. Support Backyard Wrestling,
Exactly.
TBW. There you go. That's all it's about.
Whoever
Happy
support the
birthday.
business.
Happy birthday, Dangelo LeFlame, one of my favorites. And Resi, you dare believe it. Yep, jail,
Thank
yeah. LeFlame does. Will we see you on TBW Rampage tomorrow?
Just never know. Never know. You just
Would you
have,
like to be
hey,
on as a Resurrection talent? Would you like to be on Rampage tomorrow?
of course. Like I said, I always enjoy going to TVW. It just to all the fans, you just got to tune in and see. Make sure I better see y'all in the live. Never know. It might pop up, might not, unfortunately. So you have to see.
Well, I'm going to probably be preparing my speech to induct Mr. Titan in the Hall of Fame. I can tell you that much. I'll be watching. We have Tommy the Man Merriman on, but I think I'm going to have TBW on in the background so we can kind of follow. So I'm looking forward to that. Plenty of LeFlame merch designs too. We're going to definitely get to that in a few minutes, but obviously I want to talk about Resurrection Wrestling here for a
Mhm.
few minutes because there's a lot to talk about here. Obviously, Fate or Fortune took place. We heard from Drake Golddragon before the show, and apparently you were in some pretty big match, and I was curious about it for those that haven't got a chance to watch it that may have been there this past Sunday at St. Patrick's Day. Obviously, Jimmy Controversy was there, all in his blood and glory. But for those that are listening and watching, talk about what happened and where do we go from here with you? Most importantly, in Resurrection Wrestling.
Um, Honestly, for me, it's just trying to, of course, defend this belt as long as I can. I know, and I'm just being realistic. Eventually, my time will come that somebody will just finally make it count, beat me for that belt. But until then, until somebody actually show me that they have the energy to keep up and actually put me down, I'm gonna keep that belt as long as I need, as long as I want, to be honest. But for Fatal Fortune, of course, I kind of low key got jealous. I did see Mr. Alexander is a double champ, so I was like, maybe if I go win Fatal Fortune, win the briefcase, maybe I could be a triple champ. I clearly I
You
have,
want to be a triple champ now?
I saw the opportunity, and you have to tune in and see if I, boom. But honestly, I saw the opportunity. Briefcase can let me cash in. If I can cash in and get both titles, let me get both titles. Cause I already beat it. I already defeated Dustin once, so I know I can.
And you have
I,
the momentum right now because you've
right.
been in places outside of Resurrection and you have been the guy. You're almost, I mean, Drake might be the measuring stick, but you're the man of energy. You're the man. I mean, you put Neff down. I mean, you ended
Yeah.
Neff's career. I mean, so you've got the momentum that nobody else has currently.
Because like I said, I could easily be a triple champ. Because like I said, I can always challenge Dustin for one, use the briefcase, take the other belt, or use the briefcase and go for Mr. Gold Dragon. And me and Dustin can always be both double champs. We just going into the sunset double champs, but you just have to tune in and see.
Let me ask you though a question. Drake Golddragon was here Saturday night, and he obviously has a different take on the way things are than you, and he sees himself in a different light than you. I mean, do you feel that you're in a crash collision course with him? Do you feel that you're in some type of competition with the national champion?
Of course, because we both started around the same time. Clearly, both won single titles. Even though at first I won the tag titles and then won the internet title, and he just went straight for the national. So we both basically kind of got the same career path. And then me and him, fun fact, never had a one-on-one match before. So of course, we both kind of like how who would come out on top? Of course, I'm gonna say me. Of course, he would say himself. So we kind of just sitting there, just throwing shots, slick shots at each other. But clearly, we have other things to focus on. He clearly had rage to focus on. My focus was on the briefcase. So, but eventually, our paths will cross. Maybe for a title, maybe not. It just you have to tune in every week, well, every elevation, see every live show come out and see what happens.
You've traveled now in AWL, and you've obviously wrestled in TBW. Obviously, TBW and Resurrection have had a great relationship, though. But are you excited now, maybe to get back to just wrestling in Resurrection, your home company? Are you maybe more excited now to kind of go there and prove that this is your home and this is really where the company that made your name? I mean, are you more excited now to kind of represent Resurrection and show kind of the Resurrection fans what you've learned in other places now?
Yeah, because and not trying to sound cocky or anything, but like
Sure.
I cold-heartedly believe like I hold this company, I carry this company on my shoulder, even though a lot of people sit here and try to bash my title, saying this clearly it's not the world title, but my title is the most over title. When people
But in
think
wrestling, it
think
doesn't
about
matter to me about
resurrection,
world
they
title. Listen, look at
right.
Gunther, right? Gunther's been the Intercontinental Champion over 600 days. I mean, he's defended that championship more than Roman Reigns has or Seth Rollins
Right.
has. There are
Because
people that look at him as pound for pound the best wrestler right now. I mean, people have
because
talked
the
about
belt
Kenny
don't make the
Omega.
wrestler. The belt don't
Exactly.
make the wrestler. I made that belt what it is today, and clearly, and I stand by that. I work hard every time you see me on that in that ring, even if it's in my company, a TBW, AWL, any other future promotion. I go out there and I represent. And of course, I don't get along with a lot of guys on the roster. Drake Goldrang, he has his ways. Adrian Prince has his ways, but at the end of the day, we all have the same objective or same motive. We carry this company with pride, and we want to show everybody else, hey, we're here to stay. Because at the end of the day, a lot of people see us just as all of us as rookies. Because like me personally, this is just my second year, but look how far I've came. So we all hold that. Hey, we come out here and put resurrection on our shoulders, and we prove that hey, we're here to stay. We're credible. Nobody can really just hang with us for real. Or if you
I
feel
think you
like you
guys have
can,
been credible. I mean, we've talked about it here for months on Sportswire. We've talked about the fact that Jimmy Controversy, he enjoys coming to Resurrection. I mean,
yeah,
I
and
think to me, that's the endorsement that matters. I mean, we talk about it all the time on Sportswire. Endorsements are earned, not given. I think to have Jimmy's
right,
endorsement, a man that has wrestled Tommy Dreamer. All right, Jimmy Controversy has wrestled Tommy Dreamer. And on top of that, he has wrestled for the seventh most viewed wrestling company in the world. So if Jimmy says something, and I happen to know Jimmy very well, if Jimmy says something, then it must mean it has to be good because
right.
his trust of character and his judgment is going to be far better than anybody else that we can have here on Sportswire, maybe with the exceptions of the Tribal Cheese or RP Davis and Dean Allmark. But those guys are three of the biggest draws in British independent wrestling. In the case of Dean Allmark, he defeated only a couple of guys named Jushin Thunder Liger and Brian Danielson. So, I mean, that's it. I mean, Jimmy Controversy's right in that category. So if he says something, and
True.
Resurrection can't be a bad place.
And the only reason I say that is because even if we do have the stamp of approval, we can have the stamp of approval from some of the greatest. Let's say Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega, John Cena, anybody that's a big name. We can get their stamp of approval. It will always be that one person, one promotion, just somebody
There's
out there.
always going to be somebody. Listen,
Nah,
you know what? At the end of the day, you can't lose sleep over. I mean, I work in the
yeah,
world of politics, and there was a guy that never met me and was basically going on about my work, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter anywhere you go. I worked at a supermarket years ago, and, the guy didn't like the way I looked in terms of, how I blinked my eyes. It doesn't matter anywhere you go. There's always going to be somebody that doesn't like. But
right,
at the end of the day, what matters is what you think and the people that you're around with that you want to be around with. And as long as you're having fun, you're having a good time, and the fans of Resurrection seem like they're enjoying it, and the guys that you're working with, they seem to enjoy it, to friggin' hell with the rest of everybody else. It's
exactly.
about all wrestling matters and what you want to do more than anything else. Yes, and I agree. Will Ospreay is the greatest wrestler today. He doesn't have a world title, and I think that's an excellent point. Will Ospreay,
Yeah,
another example.
I strongly believe like Resurrection is the best wrestling promotion in Mississippi. Even though we do our shows in Memphis, we are the best promotion. Yeah, we have EPW, but I strongly feel like because ours is
Well,
more,
I'll tell you better than
we give it our all.
SWF. I mean, I saw some guys that were in Resi and TBW that worked in a company called SWF. You guys blow them out of the water. So I mean, I'll be fair to say that, and I'll happily put my name toward that. So yeah, I think
Yeah.
you guys are up there. I think you
And
guys
that's
are
why
a
I
fine
do the
promotion.
things I do to put you just to prove it. Because a lot, of course, a lot of promotions talk that talk, but then they don't have the work ethic. Work ethic. They don't have the matches. They don't have the ring, like the experience. They don't have the actual proof that you can back it up. We
Absolutely.
we don't even really talk like that. We just let our work prove it.
We
And
know
I'm
what
one
you
of
do. You
those.
know what that adage is, champ. What you do is you put your head down, focus on your work, and don't worry about anybody else. Put your head
Right.
down, go
Cause
back to work, and just keep grinding.
right, I see it, and not to bash all the, like I see it on here on Sportswire. Almost everybody you done had on here have said like our promotion is the best, and not to bash them or nothing like that, but that's cool. But that's why I'm so eager to go to these promotions because I want to see, do you
Well,
actually
I
back
think
it
that
up?
as we are here on the birthday of the reigning defending Resurrection Wrestling Internet Champion D'Angelo LeFlame, and D'Angelo, of course, made the poster for the next big Resurrection show, Saturday Night Riot. We've also given him something to declare him as the energy of sports by radio. Plus, I've also got something else for him and another announcement to boot for him. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice of all wrestling, where all wrestling matters. And if you are on Twitter right now, over 100 of you on Twitter, thank you so much for viewing us here. And also make sure you hit that sub button for Resurrection Wrestling on YouTube. Resurrection Wrestling. Sportswire Radio. Hit that sub button for us. YouTube at Sportswire Radio 6579. We have gained well over 100 subscribers in the last 7 weeks alone. So thank you so much for all the momentum here. But I do want to point it out there, going back to what you said, I think there are some people that come on and they say it, maybe because they believe it. There are other
Mhm.
people that come on and, I think that some wrestlers come onto the platform and they're tremendous talents. There are other people that come on here and, like Anthony has said a few things about them, not the TBW guys, but those that may not have the experience. People can take that one way or another. But I think at the end of the day, what do I always say? All wrestling matters.
Right,
To my
because
vantage point,
nothing is wrong with being confident. Nothing is wrong with
exactly.
being
But
confident
what do
at
I
all. But
always say
then
though?
if you just, some people take it to the next step and you're like, all
They
right,
take it
calm down.
to they take it
Bring
to
yourself back to
level
reality.
now, and that's where I always say we never favor one company over the other on SportsWire. We give every single company, every single wrestler, whether it's in the independents, the underground, the pros, the yard, everybody gets the shot here on SportsWire because I believe in that, because I believe in all of you. So, yeah, listen, some people might say VTW is the best. Some people might say TBW is the best. And when IMF was a backyard, now they're obviously not a backyard company anymore. Some would say
Mhm.
they were the best. Some would say XCW would be the best. Some would say WC. To me, it doesn't matter. Or DBW. What matters is you're enjoying wrestling. You're finding a company you like. You're making yourself, more known to it. You buy a shirt. You hit that sub button. You hit a like. You tell your friends. That's what it's all about. So here on this
Right.
platform, it doesn't matter who it is. I try not to favor anybody over another because then you really do become a part of what's wrong. So we try to, at the very least, give everybody an opportunity. But let me get to a lot of comments here. Mr. Titan would like to say, seen the passion in y'all when I met you at BCW. Y'all showed up to wrestle and show out. And amen. When I met y'all were just starting out, was on trampoline. Yes, those were the days. That was before Resurrection. Correct. That was with Cameron and certainly
The
Drake
OGs.
Golddragon, Rage. All the company guys there. And it's very impressive. Talent has been brought in is great. You all have come a long way, just like everybody else. Listen, look at the guys in TBW, where they started from. The guys in DBW. Omen and Soldier were on James Taylor's podcast, and nobody knew who they were. Now they're in 400 seat venues. You have WC out there, ROEW. You have XCW from where they started. Everybody's has to start somewhere. Steele and
Right.
Taylor are still in TBW. No, they're not in TBW anymore. That would be a question you'd have to talk to TBW about directly. I couldn't speak on behalf of that. The only thing that we know of is that they're not in Tennessee Backyard Wrestling. So that's a question that you would have to ask Tennessee Backyard Wrestling for, but you can catch them on Sportswire Radio because Anthony Steele will be inducted into our Hall of Fame 10 o'clock Eastern time on Palm Sunday, this Sunday. And I actually promise you that it's going to be Palm Sunday, so it's actually going to be more of a celebratory show with Anthony because it is Palm Sunday. And, obviously, as a Catholic, we do take that seriously. So, yes, Anthony will be here, though. Anthony will always be allowed to be here on Sports while we enjoy what he's done in this sport. Everybody's going to have different opinions, but at the end of the day, you'd have to ask that to Tennessee Backyard Wrestling on James Taylor and Anthony Steele, but you can always catch them here on Sportswire Radio. Okay, so obviously, we're going to watch this show at Fate or Fortune. Fate or Fortune is going to come out maybe in the next week or so. We're going to be able to watch you in that. But, let me ask you, though, is there anybody in AWL that impressed you most?
Um, Hmm. Well, like I said, all of them act like. I know you want me to say like a certain name, but like, genuinely, all of them
No, no, no,
impressed
no, no.
me.
I know it's not a loaded question. You could say anything you want. I
Like,
never pressure anybody on these things. What
yeah,
you
cause
want to
like
answer?
all of them genuinely impressed me. Cause when they first told me like, some of them it was their first time, I was like, huh.
Well, okay. Let
But
me ask you. Let
mhm,
me ask you a different question, and I
mhm,
don't know if this is the right question for me to ask. Travis Hunt wins the world title, and it was made up. It was brought up during the commentary that he was the AWL first Black World Heavyweight Champion. Now, Black History Month was this past February, and
right,
a lot is always talked about every February about Ron Simmons winning. Becoming the first black heavyweight champion. Certainly, guys like Mark Henry have gone on and won the world title.
mhm,
The Rock, although he's Samoan these days, but he was certainly at one time we would say he was a black. Now he's Samoan with the Samoan dynasty. But there have been
right.
other black world heavyweight champions since that moment. Travis Hunt, you were there in that moment when he wins the world title. What did that mean to you though to see that moment and just as a guy like yourself that's a champion currently? I mean, what did that mean to you?
Now, of course, I didn't know at the moment. I'll be honest. I didn't know he never won this
Okay,
belt
that's
before.
fair.
At the
That's
moment,
fair.
I didn't know, but of course, seeing it, I was happy. I was like, okay, yeah, because just from like, and I don't want to. I know it's about them right now, but like just from clearly, the first black internet champ. Then you clearly had Rage and Nelf, and so I'm in. I don't want to make it a race thing, but I am proud when I
Absolutely. No, no, no.
see
And I
when
agree
I
with you
see
on
my brothers win. I am proud at the end of the
that.
day. And like I said, I don't want to make it a race thing, but because just in the Memphis area, I have seen like a lot of places put the white men over. Now it's starting to change. Now they are putting more like VCA is strictly black. They're like, they make sure the
Which
brothers
I
get
find so,
recognized.
which is crazy because I'm in New York, right? So New York historically has always been the melting pot, right? So a guy like me from New York City, I just find that just so odd that in 2024, we have to actually still have that conversation. But I thought it
Right.
was neat that you as a champion get a chance to see Travis become a world champion. Now, I know in
'Cause,
Resurrection, certainly Rage has been the champion before. We've been
mhm,
there. Neff has been the world
Nell's been
champion.
champ, yeah.
But, I kind of think it was a kind of cool moment in a way,
Yes,
no?
because like I kind of saw like low key, I saw myself like when I first won the belt. Like of course you never. I'm pretty like we all thought about being champions, and especially in this sport, everybody want to be a champion at some point in their career. But
Sure,
like when
absolutely.
it actually happens, it's a whole different ball. Like it's a whole different vibe that hits you. Because when I won, I genuinely didn't believe I won until clearly him
I know.
gets
I
the
watched
belt.
it. I watched it on
Then
YouTube, like a lot of us did.
then for
Your
him,
moment was very
he's
organic. It was a very organic
yeah.
moment, but but I think it was important to ask because even in the backyard, there's very few that again, it's not a race issue. It's just I watch a lot of wrestling like you do, and
Mm,
there's very few backyard champions that aren't what everybody else looks like. Obviously
right.
Aaron Blaze would be another person that's done it. Obviously Rage, we spoke about Neff. I mean, in DBW, they have Azriel. I mean, Damien Fatal. I mean, there's been, list the infamous Montana, who's in our Hall of Fame, by the way. He was our first black wrestler to be in our Hall of Fame, our first person of, a black descent. He is the current EBW Pro World Champion. And we spoke about that when he was here. He's obviously, one of the most nicest people I've ever met in my life in doing this. But I think it's kind of cool that it was a moment that was acknowledged on AWL TV. And,
Right. And
we
I'm
had the
happy they
guys
did
here
that.
and we had Hillbilly here. We had, obviously ADT was here before, we didn't know that moment, but to have it, but even in wrestling, we heard the infamous Montana talk about this. Man, he's the EBW Pro World Champion. He's a world champion of an independent wrestling company here in the Northeast. And there's very few guys that people had a chance to look up to. Ron Simmons, The Rock, certainly later on. I mean, Moose in Impact was the world champion. Mark
Mhm.
Henry was very successful, but I think it was kind of a, again, there's plenty of more names we could throw out there. Bobby
Yeah.
Lashley, cannot forget about Bobby Lashley and his impact, but, there's not as many guys that you could look to So I just
Right.
thought it was, wanted
I'm
to know what you
proud of
thought on that.
Travis. Honestly, I'm proud of him. Of course, maybe I can have a match against him eventually, but like I'm proud of him. 'Cause, like even behind the scenes, he put in that work. I will give it to that man. He put in that work. I kid you not. I probably did not see him not even once. Like normally while we was practicing, doing stuff behind the scenes, everybody just chilling vibing. He was just locked in the whole time, like straight face game mode. Like that's one thing about I would give him that. That boy was locked in.
Love that.
Everybody
I
else,
love hearing
on the
that.
same chilling, doing little minor stuff. But him, he was ready with it. He was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. When it was his turn, he went out there, did his thing, boom, boom, boom. And like, yo, I'm proud of him. I'm proud. Like I said, I'm proud of all of them. I'm truly,
So am I.
truthfully.
And I want to say this out there. I know obviously things have been said, but I really like the guys in that locker room that you were in. I mean, obviously ADT I've known, have a great relationship with him off the air. Hillbilly Tilly is just, I think, one of the most nicest people. I hope I'm not blowing him up. One of the nicest people in the yard. Dylan Andrews has come on here many times. Love Dylan Andrews. AJ Morgan, have a great relationship with him. Christopher James I've spoken to a couple of times. I mean, just a lot of guys in that locker room that I couldn't root for them anymore, and to watch that show and have the guys talk about it, off the air. That's why I'm so happy you were part of that company. But let me get to a lot of more comments, because a lot of people just they're so excited to have you. I got 114 people right now watching this. I got 107 on Twitter. So if you're on Twitter right now, again, I can't stress this enough. Hit that sub button, Sportswire Radio 6579, Resurrection Wrestling sub button on YouTube. Merchandise. Go buy Resurrection merchandise. Go follow Dangelo LeFlame on every single social media platform there is out there. Support these people. And I say it, support backyard wrestling. Okay, I think I read this comment already. Rumble season again. Are you the favorite?
Hey, clearly I've been. I wouldn't mind. Like, I feel like I would be, depending on even if even if I'm at number one, I'm that confident in myself that I can get it. I'm resilient enough to get it done. But it just depends. Like I strongly believe I might win. Um, I'm not gonna make you
But
bet.
don't
I
you
don't
have,
want nobody
though?
to
How
bet their
about,
money on me.
I'll ask you, how about it a different way? You were just in that Rumble. You were extremely impressive. You
Right.
eliminated three guys that, a lot of people would say, you know what? One guy was the world champion recently. The other one was the first AWL champion. Maybe the man that, wants to be the next Jack Delta. In his mind, punked out Jack Delta. Then you've got another guy who was the biggest man at Rumble, and Victor Thorne. I mean, just from that experience alone, can that make you one of the favorites?
And yeah, I do believe it because it's like a rumble is just situational awareness. I just saw the opportunity, took advantage of it, got to, I did what I could until, unfortunately, oof, myself. But like, yeah, like it's just in a rumble, you clearly have to have eyes all around you. And I just saw, like I said, I saw the perfect
I think
opportunity.
the old adage
Got
is
ADT.
you have to have eyes and ears in the back of you. That's the
Yes,
old the old adage. Yep.
not even the back. You just gotta have them 360. You gotta.
That reminds me when I was a kid growing up in Brooklyn. My father, because again, I grew up in Brooklyn, so we weren't in the most roughest neighborhoods, but it was still, you had to watch your back. And he'd always tell me I have to have my eyes and ears in the back of me in case somebody wanted to jump me or whatever it was. And I would always keep that in mind. Most of the time it didn't work, but it was just always that was instilled in me. But I have a lot of comments here. Let me get to people. People don't want to hear about my experiences; they want to hear about you, D'Angelo Flame. Plus, I've got something to give to you still. As a former yarder, I hate to say this, but backyard championships are irrelevant, and that's the way because of politics, which is very sad. Spoiler, if you don't live near these promotions, then they will never want you to be a champion for their promotion. Okay, it's sad, but it's true. Politics equal favoritism. Sorry, but that's how it is. Well, I mean, look, we would certainly hope that that wouldn't be the case, but I can tell you on Sportswire, there will never be favoritism. We always give everybody a platform. So I can promise you that everybody gets a shot here. And I think I have been pretty fair on that. I would think so, right, D'Angelo? I think I've been pretty fair on that. I think so.
Yeah, right?
I've always tried to be fair, but that's okay. Not about me. Want to say hello to Mr. Hillbilly Tilly, of course, in our Hall of Fame. What an honor it was to make him our first front office person, general manager, to be in our Hall of Fame. Been waiting for this episode. Big fan of Dangelo LeFlame, and it was an honor. He meant to say honor, but spelled it right. Having him bring the energy to the Gold Rush Rumble. Amen to that. See, we are willing to put a title, for instance, the hardcore one, on someone out of state. It's not a bad idea. I think I know who that person is. LeFlame, thank you very much. we will never see James Taylor wrestle in the backyard again. Question mark. I was hoping to see him tag with Anthony. That's again for Anthony and James. I wouldn't be able to, answer that. I would love to see them. Everybody knows my opinion. I want to see James and Anthony wrestle
I
now.
can see it happening. I can
Yeah,
see
me
it.
too. Me too. Deflame, you're the flame, not the flame. We're gonna deflame that point to LeFlame. You're a very humble guy, and I totally respect you. Never change, brother. There's very few guys like you in the yard, and
I
never say
appreciate
never.
it.
There you go. I told you, James. I was giving you an opportunity for a title, and never said you couldn't be champion. It takes time. You can't just come in and win one. That's the thing. I didn't just come in. I think 2 years is quite a long time, bro. You were just trying to return. Did you want to win a world title on a return? Nothing against you, dog. I'm just asking. 25 years on and off total in the business, guy who's been nothing but respectful to anyone in the locker room, never demand anything, never was offered. Well, that's up to what Titan and James have to fix that. I can't fix anything for them on that. I can only hope and pray that they all get together. I would love D'Angelo to be a champion for AWL and give him a title shot. So let me ask you, that will we see you back in AWL? How about that?
Hey, they make that call, and in the schedule free, most definitely. I wouldn't if I have a good experience at a promotion, why wouldn't I go back?
All right, I'm happy
If
to
I
hear
have
that.
the free time and I have the funds to get there, I'm a damn sure get there or try to at least.
Well, so I would safe to say that as a follow up, you would love to wrestle in other
Yes,
promotions.
Mr. Tilly, if you would like to, you know how to get in contact with me. I will gladly come back.
Okay, so I would imagine then in other places that are out there in the yard or in the
Right.
independents, you would love to show up. Okay, hope for that. Yes, I appreciate, and thank you, James, for that. Thank you. I really do try sincerely to give everybody a platform. Even when people don't like it, I still give them an opportunity because that's what I believe. Okay, well, thank you for clearing that up. I appreciate that. I don't want no drama. At least let's be mutual. We should both respect each other. There you go. Love seeing that. I've pitched an idea for a match, wasn't ignoring it, and was told my servant. Okay, I love James and Atomic. What I always say, they'll figure that out. God bless them. And I want to say though, moving on,
Don't
you were
worry about it,
always
Tom.
welcome. You were
They'll
always
pick it up
welcome.
tomorrow.
They'll pick it up. They're going to be here tomorrow. But you certainly, there you go. So it looks like you have a door open there in AWL.
And I appreciate y'all opening the door for me.
Now,
Appreciate
it is your birthday, and I wanted to present to you something else. I promised you I had 2 things today. So obviously, I also actually technically 3 because I got the poster for Magic. By the way, shout out to everybody in Magic. They do a phenomenal job at Resurrection. I can't thank them enough for working with us here on Sportswire, and I want to commend the company for their efforts with that. But before I get to another comment, it was a good comment, but could I present to you the second of 2 things that I promised to give you tonight? Well, it's technically 3, but the folks was the bonus. That's from really Magic. But could I present to you something else?
Of course, Tom.
All right, so I'm going to do it here for those that are listening and watching. Drum roll, please. So on this date, March 20th, 2024, the first full day of spring, it is now acknowledged as D'Angelo LeFlame Day on Sportswire radio platforms, all of them, including YouTube at Sportswire Radio 6579. Twitch at Sportswire Radio, Twitter at Thomas Price 2017, Tumblr at Sportswire Radio, Instagram at The Sports Report 2021, SportswireRadio.org, and also Twitter at Thomas Price 2017, Facebook at Sportswire Radio, and my Facebook page at Tom Bryce. So congratulations there. You have actually gotten out 2 things.
Oh, thank you, Tom. Honestly, I don't know. Cause I don't want to come off as disrespectful. But I don't feel like I deserve something like this. Clearly you have guys that clearly have years that prove their worth, and
listen, to be honest, there are some guys in the Hall of Fame that I've had messages with, not Anthony and James. Well, Anthony goes in Sunday, but guys that are in the Hall of Fame that have actually wrestled less matches than you, but they said they've been in the business for 30 years. I mean, people have told me that they have problems with them being in the Hall of Fame, but I say, well, you know what? They have actually been out there, and they deserve their recognition. So no, I actually think you definitely deserve this recognition because you have went out there, you put your body on the line. I say this every time on Sportswire. You have went out there and put your body on the line. You have risked your health for something that pays you nothing. You do it for the love of this sport. You do it because you want to. You want to do it for entertaining your fans, and that's why you absolutely deserve these things. And I will fight till come hell or high water for you and anybody else that's on my platform. And I will do that proudly And that's why you absolutely deserve this. And you deserve probably something else I'm going to bestow upon you at the end of the show. So, yeah, you're going to definitely get it. And I also want to do something else before I get to some more comments. I actually want to thank everybody here for a second because I actually have it on the screen and I want to make sure it comes up because there we go. Nope, that's not it. That's it. There we go. That's the magic of technology. So we should have it pump. Oh, wrong link here. There we go. Well, wanted to thank everybody because recently, this past weekend, Sportswire Radio just surpassed over 600 subscribers, and we're well past that now. We did that in just 7 weeks, from 500 subscribers to 600 subscribers in less than 2 months. And from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank everybody here that is tuned in and has been a part of that. And I would hope that you hit that sub button if you haven't already, and tell your friends to support Sportswire Radio because we do a lot of things here, not just about wrestling, but all sports. We've had Paige Palazzolo, the head coach of the United States women's amputee soccer team, Danny Burns, who played in the NCAA Final Four for Brooklyn College, Luke Leyland, who fought in Dombay. We have some really great stuff planned in the coming weeks. So I would hope that you continue to tune in. Friday nights, we have a live show starting at 10 o'clock Eastern time. We talk about Raw, SmackDown, AEW. Then we do regular sports at 11 o'clock. So if you want to tune out from wrestling for a little while, come back with us on Friday nights. So that's wanted to give a thank you there for that. I've got a lot of comments here, so let me come back to them. Plus, I want to pull up our website. What's your favorite match you've been in so far in your career?
Damn. For the most, okay. So I most definitely do like, even though I got attacked, I do like my match against Adrian Prince. I do like I did like my match against Jay Wild, even though I need to get my get back. So Mr. Jay Wild, I will
Well, that
eventually.
makes you and James Taylor forget back on Jay Wild, the Prophet.
Um, like also liked it my match against Dustin. I liked it my match against Roddy Alpha. Now, um, maybe I'm say my actually like I'm gonna say Deadly Collision when I won the tag belts because that was like clearly my first championship. That's the first time I can actually I was on the big stage saying like, hey, I proved myself. I beat clearly Ronnie Brady, Jack Spade, two vets. Even if some people don't agree with it, two vets.
No. Listen, they're very respected talents. No,
Right.
but you
So
never get my disagreement with that.
so I'll probably say that the tag match because of course I did it with my family at that point with with Miss Venus of course. Then we made history with that because me and her mixed tag, and
Yep.
we won the tag bill. So like, yeah, I'll
Yep.
probably say the tag match. Even though, like I said before, I don't like tag matches, but I have respect for tag matches, and I would say that probably will be my favorite match because
You know what? I think that your answer might change 6 months from now. Because you
probably
might
so.
have more great matches ahead. You never know.
I try to make
James,
every match a good match.
and I think that's why we love you. That's why you're our energy of Sports Wide Radio. And yeah, I would love to see you on the Nemesis sessions with James. That would be a lot of fun.
I promise you, we've been trying to get this done for the longest, but
Well, let's
someone
get it
always
done. Let's
pop
get it
up.
happen here.
Someone always pop up. I've been trying to get on Nemesis session for the
You gotta
longest.
get on there. Listen, James. James and his following, and he's certainly a unique host, and he's a great host, and he does a great
Right.
job, and he gives a different perspective. And I would vouch for James
I
any day of the
promise
week.
you, James, I'm not trying to duck you. I want to be on the Nemesis session. I just life, bro. Life.
I know life is very tough. I know. I actually do a lot of British shows, and the last few weeks I haven't had a chance to been able to do them. So a lot of the British guys have been asking me, why aren't you on Sportswire their time? And I'm like, well, I have a job right now. It's it's ending though in about like a week and a half, and then I'll be back to normal, and then we could schedule people in. So it's hard. I know. James is a question about James and his TBW service. I'll let those guys deal with that. I understand where Dangelo is coming from. I didn't feel I deserved to be inducted either, but was honored nonetheless. Thanks again, Tom, and happy birthday, Dangelo. I appreciate that, but you definitely deserved it. And thank you. I appreciate that. I actually had somebody message me. No joke. I want to give her a big shout out. A woman, Angela Pink. Angela is from Brooklyn, New York, and she's this Russian woman. She's been listening to all my shows for 5 years, where she tells me everything I'm doing wrong, mostly everything wrong all the time, right? And she said, I just wanted to say I've been listening and watching your last few shows on Sportswire, and I can't say enough how proud I've seen from when you started on a Skype conversation to when you were on SoundCloud to where you've got all this big lightings, all these big wrestlers, and you've got all these followers out there. And I just wanted to say that, it really, I didn't think you could do it, but, I believed in you and just want to say thank you. And, to Angela, and obviously, definitely it means a lot that people listen and tune in, and they're enjoying Sportswire. I had somebody else message me that listened to me 5 years ago. It was like, your work ethic, doesn't, nobody could match your work ethic and anything you've done. That's why you're here. I'm like, no, listen, don't worry about me. It's not about me. It's about the people. The people have spoke. The people want Sportswire. They want more shows. They want Dangelo, LeFlame. And thank you very much, Mr. Titan. I will get to 1,000 because why I got to 500. I got to 600. I will get to 1,000. And TBW will get to 10,000 because those guys, I told him this. I told Titan this a couple of weeks ago. They're going to get to 10,000 this year. So it's going to be great. Everybody's going to go and do bigger and better things. But, I did want to ask you, with all this stuff ahead. So, coming back to Resurrection, you talked a lot about the wild beast Adrian Prince, and why so much that you speak about him over the course of this interview tonight.
Basically saying, like, even though me and him have crossed paths, we haven't had like a true just one-on-one. We either had a tag match, or when we did have the one-on-one, clearly, I got attacked and it wasn't. I didn't lose on my own accord, in a sense. So I feel like that's a match that's well overdue, and I'm most definitely in front of a crowd. Like, now that's why. And then, like I said, you know, it's more of a, we want the same thing, but just a different approach. He clearly wants to prove, like, hey, I'm the face of Resurrection and all that, and I'm clearly trying to prove that I'm the face of Resurrection. I hold the company on my back. He feel like he hold the company on his back. So, eventually we will cross paths again, and hopefully it won't be any interference and distractions. It just is clearly a one-on-one who's the best man at the end of the day.
Let
And
me
I
ask
saw
you this
his comment
question.
earlier,
Yeah,
and
jump in.
he can gladly get a title shot, and it'd be nice if nobody come interfere. But like I said, I got rid of the roach, so we cool. So
Ooh,
Mr.
well, that's some
Steven,
strong words there. Strong
Mr.
words.
Steven set it up.
All right, let me ask you though this, and I don't know how you feel about this, and I want to say a little to Jacoby in a second, and I also wanted to say, Jacoby, go back to earlier in the show, and I said that you were one of my more favorite interviews from anybody in the Resurrection locker room to date, and I said that we should definitely need you back. So hopefully we get you back, Jacoby, at some point in the next month or so. So just want to give a big shout out to Jacoby because Jacoby is here, and I'll read his comments in a second. Let me ask you though this question. I don't know how you feel about it. Do you feel like in a lot of ways that there's a friendly competition between you and the current champions, whether it's Dustin? You mentioned Dustin as well tonight, or obviously Gold Dragon, certainly he puts himself in his own category. Do you feel like between yourself, Dustin, and Drake, let's say, that there is some type of competition, whether it's friendly or not?
Most definitely, because at the end of the day, we all champions. We just trying to prove, like, I am the best champion on the company.
Well, Gold
You
Dragon
know,
talked about the fact that he's had the
yeah,
championship the longest of anybody else. He was, and he's correct. I mean, he was adamant and
right.
defiant about it. I mean,
And you seen my comment. I'm the
I
longest
did.
champ. I'm the longest reigning champ of my belt. So, like, what's your point? I get it. Like,
Well, I
yeah,
think his point was
it
that he
is an
had a longer.
accomplishment.
Well, his point was that he had a longer title run than you.
True, true, true. And don't get me wrong, it is an accomplishment. But at the end of the day, like, if we want to be like that, I won 2 championships. If because we started at the same time. I don't want a tag belt
Right.
and
You had a tag, and
an
yeah, you had the tag in the internet.
internet
Yeah,
belt. Then, if you really want to be technical, I'm the first person on the roster that technically came with a custom belt. Because at first the
I
original
remember that.
internet
Yep.
title was all black. Well, a black
Well, I
belt.
got to
Now look
say,
at
when
me.
you were coming out with an AWL with that title, I got to be honest. I know everybody. I popped. I was like, wow, with that title, it would look so good on TV and AWL TV with that title. I mean, I got to be honest. I thought it was just such a cool moment. So that you
Right.
might have the best looking title. I would agree with that.
The
I
belt
think
that
Drake.
everybody loves and the belt that everybody wants.
So does that mean that for you, that's where you're most content, is that you've got the title that looks wise is the best, and it doesn't matter whether Dustin's got the hardcore in the world, or Drake has the national title? Does that, you
Yeah,
know?
like, you know, congrats to both. Yeah, you're champions, and congrats to Dustin for being a double champ. But the reason why I feel like my reign and my belt, holds more value in the company because I am the let's keep it a book. I am the workhorse. I go out there and defend mines on a daily. Well, I won't say
Drake
daily,
called
weekly.
himself. Drake wanted to be called the measuring stick, though, on Saturday's show. How do you compare
And
the workhorse to the measuring
it
stick?
can be the measuring stick in Resurrection, but I'm the measuring stick just in the wrestling community in general. Because I'm the only one who have defended my belt in another promotion, to be honest. Well,
True. And now you just went to Alabama, which was,
right.
again, I already said what a moment that was. That was just,
And
that was one of those moments when we may never get that again.
right, and I take that personally when people sit there and try to discredit me and bash me for what all of it because like I said, and once again, not trying to be cocky, but I've worked too hard for somebody to do me like that. Nobody else on this roster is doing what I'm
Well, why
doing.
would somebody? But why would somebody knock you though?
Because, well, yeah, you're going to other places, but you're a mid card champion. You don't have the world belt. World champions go travel and do all that. And my rebuttal is like, okay, that's world champion. That
Jack
means I'm
Delta.
doing the
Listen,
same.
I love. Listen, I'll handle this for you. I love Jack Delta. I mean, everybody knows Jack's been here twice. I love Jack Delta, but Jack Delta hasn't been a world champion in a while. They don't call Jack Delta a mid Carter. Guys like Chase Wakefield and Ace Christian have traveled. Devon McDonald, those guys haven't always been world champions. Jackson Law, wasn't always the world champion when he traveled. Aaron Blaze was an XCW just before. He didn't have a title there. You wouldn't call him a mid Carter, would you? You wouldn't call those guys mid Carters. You wouldn't call. Listen, Anthony was the XCW New Age champion. Would you call Anthony a mid Carter? No. So I think that's irrelevant.
Yeah, it just, they and I feel like that where it comes in, and it also shows me like I'm clearly
And why
doing
is
something
mid
right.
card such a? And first of all, why is mid card even a derogatory word? Why is anything derogatory? People all the time go, "Oh, you don't want to be a jobber. Oh, you don't want to lose every match. Oh, you don't want to be mid card. Well, what do you want to be in wrestling? Not everybody can be a main eventer. We
Exactly.
gotta stop killing each other with, well, oh, that person's a mid card, so they're bad. Oh, well, that person only holds this title. I mean, we gotta stop
Right.
with this stuff. I'm
It
sick
that's
and tired of
why.
people say, well, that person's a jobber. So what?
Mhm.
The Brooklyn
Yeah, 'cause-
Brawler spent 30 plus. No, no, no. Hold on a minute. The Brooklyn
okay.
Brawler spent over 30 plus years in WWE, right? Did we
Mhm.
did we did we knock him? No. So I don't think it matters. Wins and losses don't mean anything as much. It's a matter about how you're enjoying yourself.
Please say that again, please, because somebody in that comment need to hear that one.
And
Somebody in
I'll
that
say it.
comment.
Listen, you know me. I will say I have no filter on that. I will certainly be straight,
Right.
and I don't owe anybody any favors. And I do this because I love this sport. I will continue to do that. And there's no end games for me. There's no anything but that, and I will continue to say that. So I do want to get to comments here. Yes,
Mhm.
how you doing, Jacoby? Always good to see you. And he meant to say something other. He didn't meant to say lockdown, but it's late. It's okay. I think Thorne gave me another concussion to fate or fortune. Well, Jacoby, you might want to be a little foggy with your brain because Xavier Thorne is coming here after night 2 of WrestleMania. Literally right after night 2, Xavier Thorne is here. So the standout is literally going to have maybe in his mind a standout interview. So you might want to tune into that. And he says, thank you, Tom. I appreciate. Yes. Oh, we're gonna definitely bring you back. I promise you. In the month of April, I'm gonna bring you back. I'm gonna have a lot of free time coming up in about 2 weeks. So we're gonna go back to usual schedule on Sportswire. So I'm looking forward to that very soon. LeFlame is the absolute most respectable wrestler in champion pro wrestling. That's why he's coming for him. He has to prove himself at Saturday Night Riot. He will do his best, win or lose. Now Jacoby returned after a 1 year absence at the end of last year, and we've seen a little bit from him. But what do you make of Jacoby's comments?
Um, you know, I I got no choice but to respect it. Cause like I just said, I'm out here trying to prove myself. He trying to out here. Everybody is out here trying to prove themselves. So, like I tell everybody before that bell ring, I say, here, you better make it count, and that's all I can tell Jacoby. You better make it count, cause you might give him 110, but god damn it, I'm gonna give it 200 because
Oh, I've seen you in the ring. Listen, I've seen you in other places do it. There's no question that those
what
kicks, by the
one
way,
110
yeah.
ain't the new standard no more.
What
Let's
you
just
did
keep
to
it.
ADT, listen, and I don't want to make this about ADT, but what you did to ADT, I haven't seen anybody do that so far. You literally just dropped him like it was a sack of potatoes.
All right.
I mean, that speaks for itself. I haven't been a world champ since 2021. Point taken. Also, I haven't been a world champ. Has it been that long? 2008. Wow, that's a long time. I did not realize that. How about that? Happy birthday, bro. Keep that energy. This is from the man that is one of our all-time favorites here, Mr. Jack Delta. Oh, by the way, also got a day like you did, by the way. There you go. See, Dangelo LeFlame Day. But people don't care where you are in the card. Exactly. They just remember what moments and matches are. I have been solidly mid-card for years. No one notices. There you go. See
All
what I
right.
mean, D'Angelo? Isn't that my point to be taken? It doesn't matter. Listen, I'll even go further. There was a spot years ago with Jimmy Superfly Sunka, right? Everybody still remembers the spot. He didn't win the match when he competed for the WWF World Championship at the time against Bob Backlund. He jumped off the cage. People don't remember the fact he lost.
All
People
right.
remember that one moment. Mankind and Undertaker. Mankind's thrown off the Hell in the Cell. They don't remember the fact it wasn't the main event.
All
You
right.
know, it doesn't always matter.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels and Undertaker wasn't the main event, I believe, in the first WrestleMania. It doesn't always matter. It just doesn't. It
All right.
really, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You need somebody here. Somebody here is really might be. I don't know what he wants Cody Rhodes to come on after night 2 on Sportswire. That might be a little bit wishful thinking, right? A little wishful. We got Xavier Thorne instead.
Like I said, they're gonna be your best one yet, Tom. It's gonna be funny for sure. It's gonna
Well,
be
you know what?
hilarious.
Well, I'll say this: if people don't like the ending of WrestleMania Night 2, at least they can come on the Sportswire.
Yeah. Come laugh.
Well, if they're not happy with the ending for whatever reason, and let's say Cody doesn't finish the story, there you go. I made an Instagram page, post my backyard wrestler stuff, same as my YouTube. I'll follow you. You can follow me. I'm on Instagram at the Sports Report 2021. So I'll make sure that I'll follow you if it's the same Instagram as your YouTube. Thank you very much for
And
that.
follow me too. I'll follow you back to make sure. Cause I do scout. I look at everybody too.
And Jack Delta had a funny line. And people are having fun with this, but have their night ruined even more, meaning with Xavier Thorne. You look at it this way. If I don't bring Xavier Thorne on, right, everybody comes on to Sportswire. Everybody gets a shot. Not everybody's going to like every show.
Right.
So we're going to find out. Listen, Craven Rage comes on here. People, oh my God, they get fed up sometimes what he has to say. There are
Yeah, I'll
people
be
that
seeing the comments. I'll be seeing the comments.
people get fed up sometimes, but James comes on the show, or
Mm-hmm.
Atomic comes on the show, or Omen and Soldier comes on, or Jack comes on, or Anthony comes on, or
Yeah.
Jason Storm. It doesn't matter to me. It's going to be interesting. Let's just put it that way.
Right.
Chase Wakefield, see what I mean? He'll tune in because you
All I'm
don't
gonna
know what
tell.
Xavier Thorne's going to say. Listen, Xavier
Right.
Thorne might challenge Cody Rhodes. He might challenge him.
And I was sure going to say that. I say, hey, Mr. Delta, I don't know. You might want to talk. Thorne might call you out. Then you're gonna have to be like,
Well, do you think Thorne's going to call you out? Do you think Thorne's going to call you out?
of course he's gonna call me out, and I already told him it is what it is. Like we was like the thing about it. I understand, he turned himself to the darkness and embraced the
He did.
darkness,
Yes, he talked about the darkness
but
on Saturday's show. Yep.
yeah, because me and Thorne, we're close. Well, we was close until he embraced the standout. But I hope at this point I just hope it works out for him. Of course, if I have to be the one he got to come step up to, I will knock his ass down too.
But there's a
Even though
lot
he
of
was
people that
friendly.
might. But there's a lot of people that might have a line for that though.
And that's fine. Like I always say, line them up. I'm gonna knock them down.
That sounds like a bowling reference, but okay. Let me get to Mr. Delta here. Yeah, yes, I think I read that off. Thorne said he was already coming to challenge me. He did. Did Thorne say that? Where did
Yes,
I
yes,
see it?
yes,
He did.
yes.
He did.
Bro,
Can't
stay
wait to
doing
see
this.
it. It's funny. Somebody actually messaged me. They wanted me to be in a match, and I'm like, I'm not looking to go into wrestling. What I really want to do with the platform, full disclosures, what I'm really trying to do is not to be like a Tony Khan, but to kind of be like a Tony Khan. What I'm trying to do is actually get into live streaming. No, seriously. I want to address this because
Mhm.
Thorne can challenge me to a match, but I'm not a wrestler. But what I am trying to do with Sportswire is I'm actually trying to get whether it's some type of live sports like college sports. I'm trying different types of alternative sports. So if I could really get that, I don't want to show like a business or a sports league that, hey, now I'm competing in wrestling because I'm not a wrestler. So I won't do anything that I can't do. What I can do is talk, which I barely do a good job at that. But I am looking to do as a businessman, try to get into live streaming. So that's really
Look,
where I'm
that's
looking to
enough
go.
for him. You know, he'll get on the live real quick and start talking.
Well, if he
Y'all
wants
can
to be
go.
if we're doing a darts league on Sportswire, if we're doing like a little league baseball, game or something, and he wants to talk, I think that'd be kind of like the Manning cast. If you're a fan of the Manning cast, I'd be open to that. That's kind of really my pitch right now to some of these big, these sporting leagues. That's my pitch right now. But I don't want to reveal too much with that because I really think if I get that, that's going to really change the face of Sportswire. Don't
Mhm.
stress it on Titan. He ain't nothing. He shoots and misses every single time. Sounds like Shaq when he was at the free throw line. But that's a different conversation for a different time. See, I told you they'll be seated for that. And he's 4-0 against him at like 4 different shows. Oh, wow. Okay. Undefeated. Xavier, fill in the blanks, Thorne is a nobody but a ripoff. He takes everyone's gimmick and mashes them into one god awful gimmick. That's not fair.
Um,
Is that
I, so Tom, I seen something today, right? I seen like
it's supposed to be
benefit
your
doubt.
day
He was
today.
young. He was young. I seen something today. I
Yeah.
seen so you know the rapper MGK, right?
Of
Machine
course.
Gun
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes, I do.
I seen
Yes.
something today saying Machine Gun Thorn government name. And I was like, ain't no
Oh,
way
okay.
this I was like, you was stealing stuff back in the day. Nobody talk about no MGK like that. He was like,
Well, I guess apparently Megan Fox will get the note. Maybe Megan Fox will go out with Xavier Thorne instead of
he gonna
MGK.
challenge Megan Fox. We already know this.
Well, you know what? I'm going to plead the fifth on that because we're a family station on Sportswire. But if you want to follow Resurrection Wrestling on all those platforms, you can. But also check out our website here because I want to pull it up because we have a Hall of Fame section with a number of different guys that are in the Hall of Fame. Also, some famous interviews we've done, of course, with Coach Palazzolo, Luke Leyland, Dean Allmark, also the Tribal Cheese. We've also got Mikey Anarchy, Jack Delta. Hey, by the way, that guy Jack Delta, he was here on Sportswire once. You can watch it from the link below there. Jimmy Controversy, that name rings a bell, right? Certainly for you, Mr. LeFlame. You've shared a locker room
Mm-hmm.
with him a bunch of times. James Barris. Here's our Hall of Fame section. Some great group of talents. RPD, Dean Allmark, Josh Allen, TBW, Omen and Soldier. We got Jackson Lauren there. We've got Chris Jones of EBW. We've got Coach Craven Bentley, who's the Kingdom Wrestling and Bolton Town champion. Got James Barris, of course, the CCW owner. Got some of the guys that Jack Delta's work with. Chase Wakefield, the Bitcoin billionaire. Sean Joby, love that guy. Some of the guys, Darkron, by the way, wishing Darkron a speedy recovery. He's going through a couple of health issues right now, praying for him and his family. Matthew Forsaken from the foundation. The Gentleman Thug, Ronnie Thatcher. See, even C2K. See, C2K is even in our Hall of Fame. How about that? Everybody can say what they want, but we do have C2K in the Hall of Fame. Infamous Montana, who I mentioned, is the EBW Pro World Champion. Look at this Hall of Fame section. James Taylor's in there. Jam Dog, of course. Brandon Costelli. Love Brandon Costelli. ADT, a man you eliminated in that Rumble, by the way. Not too bad there, huh? Mr. Carnage, Ace Christian, Mr. Judgment, Skulls. How about Skulls? Austin James, who's the EBW Forever World Champion. Hillbilly Tilly, Ace Reed, Shane Davids. And so, obviously we're going to put Mr. Titan on in the next section in our sixth class. But D'Angelo, I wanted to before closing thoughts, and I know I could ask you a lot. People are really fired up tonight. Got 122 people watching this right now. People are just really, they love Sportswire. They love what we're doing. But, I was wondering, I know I gave you a couple things. We gave you a poster tonight, even from Resurrection, but I'm going to ask it, D'Angelo, because I think you deserve it. You earned it. And I have a feeling in 6 months from now, you're going to wrestle in 17 other different promotions, and you're going to be comparing frequent flyer miles with Jack Delta, Aaron Blaze, and some others. For those that are listening and watching on Sportswire Radio, where all wrestling matters, our reigning defending internet champion from Resurrection Pro Wrestling, D'Angelo LeFlame, how would you like to take your place into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame?
Now you spoiling me. Of course, I would gladly love to be in the Hall of Fame.
ADT's in there. You eliminated ADT, so shouldn't that mean that I have to put you in the Hall of Fame? You eliminated him in
Yeah.
that Gold Rush Rumble. You can say what you
Like,
want, but you eliminated him.
I look, I already was watering up after the damn appreciation day. Now I'm low key for the ball my
Well, don't
eyes out.
water up on us. You're a champion. Do not water up on us on Sportswire. I assure you that your opponents and your contemporaries will certainly see that. So we don't want you to water up on us. We want you to save that for Saturday Night Riot.
Yeah, thank you, Tom. Honestly, thank you for being, even considering me, putting me in the Hall of Fame. Thank you for actually putting me in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, next time you
Um,
come on, I would say the end of April that we'd like to put you into the Hall of Fame. I think that's what we're going to do at the end of April. That last week in
okay,
April, we're going to bring you back.
and that's fine with me. We'll set up the day to make it happen. Thanks for everybody that watching. Clearly, y'all didn't have to waste a whole an hour 40 of y'all time to even.
No, there was no time wasted. I mean, we're getting to closing thoughts in a second, but no, people, they really loved it tonight.
I
We
ain't
have
gonna lie.
people on
That
YouTube
shows me
watching,
like
Twitter.
y'all believe in me. So thank y'all.
I think
Cause
it
I
shows that there's a lot of
yeah,
excitement.
cause
People were really wanted you on tonight. I think that there's a lot of momentum right now with the Sportswire product. I think that there's a lot of momentum in just what you've done. It was a shocking moment, and I think what you did in AWL. And I also want to say hello before I get to closing thoughts here. It wouldn't be a show without Atomic Titan and Joshua Allen going back and forth. And of course, Mr. Allen is in our Hall of Fame. He says, the only thing you're the best at is running your mouth, claiming to be a king when fact is you wouldn't be a king if it wasn't for TV. Boy, that's going to be coming to our show tomorrow night.
mm,
Can't wait to be the best TBW inductee come tomorrow night over Josh. Ooh, that's some tough words. That's some very tough words. Yeah. Oh, he did say that. Did he? Maybe he did at the earlier show. Thank you for reminding me. I suppose the only way Thorne gets the upper hand in any altercation is if he attacks people out of nowhere and jumps them. He couldn't lace my boots last time. It reminds me. I don't want to say the company, but there was a company a couple months ago I was covering a show for. No, not TBW Resurrection or anybody like that, but there was a guy in the ring and he was managing somebody. All he kept doing was like trying to attack the opponent. But when the opponent was trying to attack him, he was like cowardly getting out of the ring because he probably wouldn't want to take any offense, which is not cool at all. But let me come back to Tilly. I felt D'Angelo had the best performance of the competitors in the Rumble, which I pretty much said the same thing. You
thank you.
eliminated three guys and you had like the most performance there. I mean, it was kind of like, and I think what I took away from that Rumble is AJ Morgan, even though he eliminated you, I don't know, something was off there because Andrews and ADT celebrated. Morgan walked off. Morgan lost the world title. So I'm just saying there.
Yeah.
LeFlame before Saturday Night Riot, you should get me on hot takes. Yeah. Uh, I would get you one. Yeah, I don't know when is the riot. Well, I'm sure somebody in management will let you know. But well, let me know before when the riot is. Yeah, you can come on before the riot. That should be fine. Yeah, we can
Mhm.
definitely do that. A management will tell me when the riot is, and I will bring you back, Jacoby, before the riot. We can definitely do that. Josh, I better not see you tomorrow, or you'll be bowing down. Well, we're going to respect and acknowledge our hardcore king, but I want to ask you before I get to closing thoughts: is there anything else you want to say to anybody tonight on this, historic day? I hope this was maybe your best birthday yet, because I really went out of my way to, celebrate your birthday. I will
And,
say
and
that.
and thank you. Thank you so much. Because once again, you did not have to do none of this, Tom. So I appreciate you deeply. And I do have to thank you for something else.
Well,
A couple lives ago, you was like, "You're my unofficial agent," and I have to say thank you, Tom, because
oh God.
you've been putting me on. I'm not even gonna sit here and play you like that. Thank you, Tom, because you are part of changing my life, and I have
Well,
to give you your recognition.
I
You have
appreciate
put
that.
me in a lot of contact with different people, so thank you, Tom. You
Well,
truthfully have changed my life.
well, you know what? Well, let me just do something before I get to comments here. God always works in mysterious ways. There's an old adage: God is good, and God will take care of those that will be deserved to take care of. And I always believe that everything happens for a reason, and it'll all work out, and it'll all sort itself out. And there's an old adage I always live by, and that it's a rising tide will lift all boats. Maybe our boats don't go to the same course. Maybe
Mhm.
we have different boats that we want to ride in different ways, but at the end of the day, there'll always be that one tide that'll help rise and lift all of us. And you, my friend, are going to be that person. I promise you on that. So let your heart not be troubled. Let anybody's hearts not be troubled by what they see, whether it's in the backyard, the independents, the underground, and the pros. On Sportswire, will always be about all wrestling that matters. So I promise you
Right.
on that. Before we get to closing thoughts here, I think I read this already. I wish that people in the comment section would have more respect for Mr. LeFlame. I agree on that wholeheartedly. Not use the comment section for their petty arguments about their product and take away from Dangelo's time. I agree. I definitely agree with about that, but I can assure you, Hillbilly Tilly, D'Angelo is always respected here on Sportswire, and I will always give the best I can for him and everybody that gets their shot. Not everybody's going to agree with everybody. People are entitled to their opinions, but my opinion is that D'Angelo LaFlame is doing a great job, and he's our energy of Sportswire Radio. I'm talking about Hot Takes, D'Angelo LaFlame's little talk show. Yes, I know you have a little show that's
Yes.
on the Patreon page of Resurrection Wrestling. I think we saw one episode so far, correct? Was it one episode?
It been a couple, but yeah, I ain't really just been like I did the hot take special really, and that was just I haven't shot any since.
Yeah,
Of
that's why I
course, I'll
really
bring
didn't
it back
mention it.
because
Yeah, I
I didn't
didn't
want
really.
to just drag it out. I don't want a hot takes episode on every
All right,
elevation. So
so
sometimes,
all
yeah.
right, so we'll see that, and we'll look forward to Elevations. We look forward to Saturday Night Riot. We'll have more coverage with that. Yes, happy birthday, LaFlame.
So
Well, that's I think he's being facetious. Couldn't have said it better myself. Nothing more pathetic than try to watch someone else. I agree with you, TBK. And TBK, by the way, if you need logos, let me give TBK a big club for a second. I want to give him a plug actually because he's doing logo designs. So if you are a wrestling company and you want some design work, I'm actually going to pull it up here right now. Thank you for reminding me very much because we actually have somebody who does a fantastic job when it comes to logo and designs. And his name is Mr. Baltimore Kid. And before I get to closing thoughts, I want to make sure people see where they can reach out to him. So if you need logo designs, you want any type of merchandise, follow him here. That's on his Instagram. That's also on his threads. So you can check him out. That's how you get in touch. So some guys have some logo designs from him. Sportswire Radio already has some of it. So if you need some design work, he does a great job. He's got a podcast out there of his own. You want to go on his podcast, you're welcome anytime. That's how you can get in touch with him. T.B.K0892. T.B.K0892. Also, Threads is the same. He's interviewed my buddies, the Big Cheese, the Tribal Cheese himself. James Taylor has been on there. Josh Allen. Some great people have been on there. So if D'Angelo and others, you want to go on there, go and give this man a follow and also go and
I
help
wouldn't
him out
mind.
and support him. Yep, definitely get in touch, TBK. Get in touch with D'Angelo and he'll be on your podcast. And also, if you need logo designs, that's how you get in touch with him. So go support him. He's also going into our Hall of Fame Friday night. So Friday night here at 10 o'clock, he's going to take his place into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. He's also going to talk about his thoughts on SmackDown, Raw, and WrestleMania. So he's going to go into the Hall of Fame Friday night. And Atomic Titan goes tomorrow night into the Hall of Fame. I asked, yes, Titan did ask questions. Titan did. I'm going to defend Titan. He did. And so did James. LeFlame is respected by the TBW boys. They all wished him a happy birthday. They're promoting a product that LeFlame and everyone else in RPW loves. I would bet my house that DL doesn't mind. And I don't mind either. And I definitely don't mind. And that's, I
I
think, what counts
truthfully
most.
do love all of them.
Me too. Me too.
Like
Me
of
too.
course, behind the scenes, they truly show like they believe in me because
No, they do. And you know what? They do. And I
almost
know for
told
a
on
fact they
myself,
do.
but almost told on myself, but um, they did ask me when was I going pro, and when they said that it did kind of hit like, do y'all really believe I can make it that far? But and it clearly shows from just not even just them, like
Well, I
everybody
got
low key truly believe in me, and I'm so happy that y'all truly believe in me because coming
Well,
from
I
like my
believe in you. Yep.
thank
We
you.
all believe in you. And, speaking of that, I got one more question for you before I go, because I actually do have one more announcement, which I'm glad that I saved this one because Mr. Allen actually wants to ask you about that match at Lockdown with Neff. And it's also important to note that I'm actually going to break it here. 20 days from now, Tuesday, April 9th, the once artist formerly known as The Boat, Neff himself, speaks to the Sportswire Radio world about his future and more. So He's going to be on Sportswire Radio. So I'm going to give you the opportunity to talk about what it means to you that you ended his career.
Um, it's a bittersweet type of thing. Like, it was the end
It
of
was sad to hear the
rivalry.
chants. It was sad. Actually, it was
Yeah, like,
after
don't
the
get me
match.
wrong.
It did see it. It
At
was
the end
sad.
of the day, I don't want to be the guy that took somebody's career. Clearly, he has a strong passion about wrestling, and that defeats my whole, trying to bring everybody passion together. But, you know, tensions got high. The words were said.
Said him here on Sportswire. I mean, he was here
Right.
before about 6 weeks before the match, and he had a lot to say.
The GM, he granted the match. So, I just had to go out there and do. Well, unfortunately, I had to go take somebody's career. I do, like I said, I do wish him the best. There's no real hatred behind the scenes. I don't have no
We're going
hatred
to talk
for
about his
him.
music. Well, he's got a music career still, so we're going to
And
talk
I,
about his music career.
and not even trying to be in character. Like, I enjoy music, I truly do. Now,
He's
like,
got some good songs. He's actually, I
yes,
tell you what,
I truly do. I play his music. Matter of fact, if I do go have to pick him up sometimes, I play his music just to make him smile. I
I think between him and Sad Boy's music, I got to compare
Yes,
them, which is better.
I like Alan Michael music too.
Yeah,
Yeah. But
there's some good talent. There's some good talents.
yeah, truthfully, because I done try to support some boys of mine, but I can genuinely, strongly say, hey, I believe in them. If they take their music stuff seriously enough, they will get to the next step. I will
Well,
give him that.
I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we celebrated a man that we believe in and a man that's going to go a lot of places. I have no doubt over the next several months, and that is our reigning, defending Resurrection Pro Wrestling Internet Champion, who is now our brand new energy of Sportswire Radio, and it was acknowledged today on all of our platforms. It is his day, so join me one more time in wishing him a happy, happy birthday. And I could not agree more. Much respect for Resurrection and LeFlame. Dangelo LeFlame is forever burning like a flame, and he is definitely our energy of Sportswire Radio. Please support Resurrection Wrestling on all of their great platforms. And my friend, I want to give you the floor. Want to give you some closing thoughts. Anything else you'd like to plug, share, or say? I'm going to put up your social medias up one more time, and can't wait next month to induct you into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame and make more history and keep being the shining star that you are, and you'll forever be burning like a flame. But until then, floor is yours.
One, of course, thank you for everybody that tuned in. Honestly, thank you. Wait, how many you said? Like 100 something, 114?
127 people at one point tuned in.
127.
127.
Thank you to all 127 of y'all. Y'all came out here and spent y'all night with me.
It's amazing.
Clearly comment. Thank you. And that just shows me clearly I'm doing something right. That
I
shows
think it
that y'all
does.
truly
Yep.
believe in me. And of course, I'm gonna do whatever I can to continue making y'all proud. Like, at the end of the day, I just want to make the fans proud. I want to make everybody in the locker room proud. I just want to make everybody that sees me like, hey, thank you for just contributing in this whole community. Like, um, if I do go to some other promotions, I hope things go well. Hopefully, I impress you. Hopefully, it's not, dang, we invited you and you really just, you kind of, we next time we know, yeah, you wasn't really worth it. I hope I never go to a promotion I underperform because I don't want you to feel like you wasted your time with me. I go out, if I come to another promotion, I make it my mission. I give you the best version of me possible because I know a
Amen.
lot of y'all y'all take this stuff seriously, and I know you just don't want somebody to half ass, and I never want to give off that vibe that I'm just, yeah, I'm just here because I want some clicks and all that. I want you to know, like, I'm dedicated. Y'all invested your time in me. I'm gonna invest my time to you, your fans. Whatever you need me to do, I will do it to my best abilities. Um,
Amen. Amen.
Shout out to, of course, Resurrection. Shout out to all them boys. We out here. We putting it on.
Love it.
Shout out to TBW. Y'all killing the game too.
Oh my God, I cannot wait for TBW tomorrow. I
Don't let
cannot wait.
half of the people do all that wrong. Y'all just copycats. Fuck, who cares? Who cares? Cause
You
y'all
know
doing
what?
good. Look at the views. Look at the
TBW's got the
subs.
views. You know what? To hell with
Shout
them.
out AWL.
Yeah, I love AWL.
Y'all boys. Look, I'm proud of y'all. Y'all have a lot of potential. I most definitely can't wait to come back. any promotions that do want me. Now, of course, my limit is 5 hours, but I will make that flight out there. Just work with me. The plane tickets ain't cheap. I will eventually get there. So any promotion that's willing to invite me, I will gladly come if I have the funds to do so. Um, you know, that's really it. Thank you, Tom. Of course, like I said, you really changed my life, man. All seriousness. Because and once again, thank all y'all because from just me coming up, I didn't get that like approval. Like, hey, thank you. You're doing good. I'm proud of you. We want the best for you. I struggled with accepting this. So like when y'all sit here and tell me you're doing good, you're proud, and you giving me my whole appreciation day, like it's really hard for me to accept it because I always, and it's just one of the things I grew up with. It's just kind of like in the back of my head, it's like, nah, people really don't really mean it. They just doing it to be nice. But clearly, y'all have showed time and time again, y'all truly believe in me, and thank y'all. And so, of course, I'm gonna continue doing what I need to do to make sure I continue to make y'all proud. Because
No, you are
even
doing
if
that. You are. Don't cry on us. You trust me. You
I'm
are.
trying not to, I'm not,
You
and now
are.
my
You're
voice
doing
is
great.
breaking down, but I don't. I think I'm fine. I think I'm
I
toughing it
think
out.
that I see where we're going with this, and we're going to definitely get to the end because I don't want to see you. So other companies see it. Oh, he's crying on the air. But let me tell you that you're a special young man, and you're doing great. And we believe in you on Sportswire, and a lot of people believe in you. And you're going to continue to do bigger and better things. Like I always told you, and I tell everybody for the past 5 years, a rising tide will always lift those boats. And tonight, people, they were lifted by you tonight. Don't worry about comments. The court of public opinion showed on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube that people, they enjoyed what you had to say tonight. If you heard of D'Angelo for the first time and you were still on Twitter, go hit that sub button. Resurrection Wrestling on YouTube, Sportswire Radio 6579. And you're going to see more of Dangelo LeFlame in the near and distant future, in Resurrection Pro Wrestling, hopefully in many other places. And I can assure you that the best is yet to come. And also
Right.
follow him on all of those great platforms. And I agree with Famous Live. Let's hopefully get that Neff Sad Boy Thorne collaboration. Maybe I'll ask Thorne about that in a few weeks. But until then, my friend, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Congratulations on all the success. I'll make sure we get those certificates to you. I will
Okay.
get your email after we're off the air. We'll definitely talk about that in the future, and we'll get a date for you to be in the Hall of Fame. And go enjoy the rest of your evening now. I know it's been a long one, so thank you so much. Happy birthday, champ, and we'll see you next month to allow yourself to be in the history books with many of your colleagues in AWL, TBW, and Resurrection Pro Wrestling in the Hall of Fame of Sportswire Radio. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the reigning defending Resurrection Wrestling Internet Champion himself, the one and only energy of Sportswire Radio, D'Angelo LeFlame. And my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice of all wrestling, where all wrestling matters. If you're on Sportswire Radio, you're going back to your regularly scheduled programming here. If you're on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, you got a doubleheader with me tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Tommy the Man Merriman of XCW is here. He's going to talk about his most recent stint in the IMF. Don't know anything about wink and a nod. Anybody else going to IMF? And then you're also going to hear from the Atomic Titan to become the 55th member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame after the conclusion of Rampage 157, the kickoff of Season 8 of Tennessee Backyard Wrestling. My name again is the Reverend Tom Bryce. Thank you so much for all of your support on YouTube. Check that sub button for us often. Anywhere else you find Sportsfire Radio, tell your friends and support us. And Resurrection Wrestling, where all wrestling matters. But until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. On the number one global radio station that is Sportswire Radio, where all wrestling matters. And I'll see you for a doubleheader tomorrow with Tommy the Man Merriman and then Atomic Titan, the hardcore champion, our hardcore king, and the only Grand Slam winner in Tennessee Backyard Wrestling tomorrow night. Thank you, everybody.